The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey!
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
We want out! We want out! Sport! 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 Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. This sports program starts now.
Football!
Happened last night in a big way. The Los Angeles Chargers played host to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, coming off a devastating loss, were favored by 1.5, taking on Justin Herbert and the boys live in front of their very passionate fan base. One in particular we saw last night really ride the ebbs and flows of an entire NFL game, especially being a Los Angeles Chargers fan. I couldn't even fathom what her last 2 years have been because they had this lady.
Yeah.
Hey, bravo to you, lady.
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't know if she had $100,000 or $200,000 on the Chargers last night, or if this is just peak fandom in the NFL to a point of being crazed with your NFL team. But if that's how she was last night against the Cowboys, I could not fathom. It ended devastation. Stephon Gilmore picks off Justin Herbert and says, "Go home, sad lady. You probably lost your bet." Or maybe she lost her mind because this Chargers team, this is the norm for them with Brandon Staley as the head coach. There's actually a graphic and stats that are coming out that they've lost 6 games by less than 3 points. Yes, here it is, last 2 seasons. 6 games by less than 3 points. The only team with more losses by less than 3 points, the Broncos, and we know how they're currently living. So Chargers fans, with this guy, Herbert, whose hair is magical and his arms spectacular, with a plethora of weapons, one of which we learn about every game that comes new. And then with a guy like Austin Eckler, all he does is score touchdowns getting back on the field. We thought, you know what? Maybe the Chargers will be able to live up to the expectation and the hype of what the Chargers team can be and has been projected to be. Instead, the Chargers do what the Chargers always do. They lose a close game to who? The Dallas Cowboys, who somehow had Dak Prescott big stepping all over SoFi Field. Came into the game 40 yards rushing as a whole for Dak Prescott. Ended the game with 95 or 85 yards rushing, where he rushed for 45 yards last night. Damn. Led the Dallas Cowboys. And on this 4th and 1, you see him high stepping, big stepping, swagging all over LA. You knew it was a big game for Mike McCarthy trying to take on Kellen Moore on the other side. But you know it's huge for the Cowboys as a whole because in prime time, they showed up. Michael Parsons got a big sack late.
Yep.
The defense had a game-winning interception. The Dallas Cowboys needed this in a big way, and they got it. And I'm happy for them. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. And a 9-year NFL vet and super fan of the Los Angeles Chargers is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler. D-But I just said everything I said about the Chargers because it feels like that's what the Chargers are. They're almost the new hype machine in the NFL. The Cowboys have obviously always been that, and they're going to be America's team and on prime time every single week forever because Jerry Jones is one of the greatest promoters that have ever lived and one of the greatest businessmen of all time. Happy to see him and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
That was good. Jerry doing a little interview thing there too. It's always good anytime Jerry, because Jerry went from going, what's going on over there, to being the owner of like a $9.9 billion franchise, the most expensive one in the world. So obviously the Cowboys are always going to be hyped and the expectations are going to be crazy. But with this Chargers team, with Justin Herbert, the talent that he has, and last night might have been an off game for him. I'll let you describe that if that's the case or not. There are a lot of hype, and very rarely do they show up to the big moment. Now, I know they were underdogs last night, but that would have been a huge game for that Los Angeles Chargers squad. And instead now we're talking about, is this Dallas's get back and the Chargers being the same old Chargers, D-Bud?
Would have been a huge game, huge win. Started off great. drove down the field, touchdown, Keenan Allen. You almost thought they were going to kind of run away with it. But like you said, the expectations, even coming into last year, bringing all these guys over, Khalil Mack, obviously Derwin James, one of the best safeties in the league, Asante Samuel, just names up and down both sides of the ball. But for some reason, they just can't get over that hump. And it's another one, another letdown. Herbert, that's my guy. He's the reason I'm a fan of
He is, yeah. He's your
Chargers.
guy.
But he kind of stunk last night.
Whoa,
Just to keep it
Well,
real,
hold on.
kinda
He
stunk.
threw for 227.
I don't care about the numbers.
2 touchdowns.
Keenan Allen, I mean, he missed Keenan Allen on probably about 100+ yards worth of routes, like a couple double moves he missed them on. You're gonna miss throws, but watching Herbert like I've watched him, those are just throws you never see him miss, wide open. Then the late when it was a dirty pocket, Gilmore made a great play. You know, that's why he's a former Defensive Player of the Year.
There was also a play or two last night where Herbert falling backwards, normal Herbert, right? Completes that pass. Last night, short. Didn't make it. Looked like a normal quarterback.
Yep. Yeah.
Then there was another one where he was under pressure, under duress. 3rd down, I think. He throws short. Normally, those balls are because his arm strength is so spectacular. So I think there was numerous things that happened last night that make us say that wasn't normal Justin Herbert. But they still had a chance to win that game.
Absolutely had a chance to win. Went for it on 4th down. I know some people talking about it. It was a sprint out. Didn't get it, but still was in a position to win that game. Definitely disappointed.
Chargers fans just every game
Right
there.
It's just that lady.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't believe she still has that
I
after
know.
what the last couple seasons have been for the Chargers. I appreciate.
She's a plant. Let's be honest.
See, I don't like that.
Whoa.
Believe in
I don't
something.
like
In L.A.
I don't like that in 2023. The immediate thought whenever somebody's having the time of their life, escaping reality for a bit, just disappearing into sports, a team that she loves, you immediately got to say, "Oh, they're in L.A. That's an actor. She obviously is just working the camera right now, and it has paid off." That's what everybody's saying.
Come on.
That's what Darius says.
Yeah, we heard you.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this Asian lady loves the Los Angeles Chargers more than you love your team, and that's not her fault. Okay, what is her fault, though, is that she still has this competitive stamina after what these Chargers have done to their fans for year after year after year, seemingly. You can even go back before Staley got here. I mean, there was like 2-minute drill fumbles in mess-ups that just cost them games like week after week after week. At some point, we all assume the Chargers are going to put it together, but we might need to get to a point where they might just be cursed.
Yeah.
Whether it's bad decision-making, whether it's things not going their way whenever they make said bad decisions, because all these aggressive decisions, just like fake punts and fake anything, if it works, you're a genius.
Yep.
If it doesn't work, you're an idiot. It feels like a lot of "you're an idiot" has been happening to Staley more so than any other coaches. So because he doesn't learn from those situations and he still tries to empty the clip and it doesn't work out, he's going to be judged for that. But all those could have gone the other way, especially with the amount of talent they have. You talk about Keenan Allen, and I know we're talking about Jamar Chase always being up. Keenan Allen seemingly always open, that guy. Then you talk about Palmer, and who was seven last night for them?
Gerald Everett.
Gerald Everett last night. This dude looks like he's just a freak athlete. They'll have single digits, and you adding Quentin Johnson in there if they're able to keep going in this whole thing. It's like they have all the weapons to be as aggressive as the Kansas City Chiefs are. There's good reason for them want to have faith in their offense to pick up a 4th down or to do something special. But for some reason, they just don't on more often than not. And it's like almost the story of the team now. So that lady still being able to buy in that they're going to get those wins when it's been very consistent that they're not.
Yeah.
I applaud
I
her.
don't know
Even
if
if
she
she's
was-
acting. She might be the greatest thespian of all time.
She wasn't acting. I don't know if she was bought in. I've seen that. She's $100,000 in debt. Okay.
That did look like she had quite a large bet on
Yeah, and she had 100 stacks of high society on that game. That's the only way that happens.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, respect.
Listen, we don't know how she got to the point that she got, if she is a gambler, but we do know that she took a swing last night.
yeah,
If
big
she's a gambler, she took a big swing last
That's right.
night. And she was close.
Very close.
Money line, probably Chargers. That's it, right?
Like Keanu Reeves, when he's coaching the Cucumbers.
And she said, "I'm going to be there." Is she sitting in the suite down on the field?
It looked like
So she couldn't see the game.
No.
Because we've been in that suite before, and I think we paid, I think it was only like $70,000 or something for that
that's not
suite
bad. That's
for the
cool.
national championship game. And it was because we were very lucky to be able to simulcast and walk around the field and do our thing, but we didn't have really like a home base anywhere. So we said, we'll just buy a suite and kind of knock it out. We buy that suite, couple of the boys staying there couldn't see a single thing.
Nope.
It was like one of the worst constructed things that cost money of all time.
Ever.
Yeah. And then you watch that game last night. Those are packed. Those suites are packed.
I don't understand it.
It's got to be just so you could say that you were at the game, because it's like kind of a low ceiling too. A little bit, I don't want to say dungy, but
a little bit.
Little kind of dungy. Yeah. And then the only way you can watch the game is if you just look up at the Jumbotron, but you're paying $70,000 to just look at the Jumbotron. I don't know. So her being down in there as well probably got her a little bit more emotional.
Yeah.
I can't even see the damn game. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Look, I love whatever producer or camera person found her too. Yeah. They're like, we got it. You know how we're always looking for crowd shots? We found it.
Yep.
We don't know if it's a work. We don't know if it's a big gamble. We don't know if she's just a massive fan, which we're all hoping for, by the way.
Yes.
We're all hoping that she is just a massive fan, but we got her. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. I mean, that is pretty much what happened in the truck, and I love everything about that. Go ahead, Conor.
Yeah, unbelievable. I do believe it was said right before the show started that she is, in fact, a season tickets holder with her husband. So she has been a day one Rams fan. Not a plant, even though I also thought that. But you mentioned one guy there, Quentin Johnson. Is he just maybe not what they thought he was? Because for a first-round pick, not to
Hold on, in preseason, they were supposed to be something, right?
Oh, yeah. A lot of clips coming out of camp of him making unbelievable plays, but he just really hasn't done much this season, or is it?
I haven't done enough research on him, and also on this next thing I'm about to talk about. We have to be the first ESPN show in history, okay? Cowboys get a big win on ESPN. And what have we just spent the last 10 minutes doing? Talking about the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at us. Huh? This is probably why.
How about it?
This is probably why the linear ones.
Well,
You know what I mean? This is probably, there's a chance.
I mean, you have to talk about it, though, because every year it is. We go into the season, it's, hey, this is the year. Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl this
Same
year.
conversation about the Cowboys.
Exactly. And you know, like that game as a whole, it was close. It was competitive. Kind of stunk. Kind of boring. The Chargers are they're all sizzle, no steak. Every single year. They have all these guys. Even you look at that game last night, they sacked Dak five times.
Sizzle.
Like, if their defense can hold a team to 20 points, especially an offense that's as potent as the Cowboys is, with their offense, like, they should win those games. And for whatever reason, they just never do.
So now let's look at the NFC East a little bit, because we will kind of let the pendulum swing back to the Cowboys. It's a bummer for the Chargers. We have a lot of respect for the Chargers fans and faithful. And Tom Telesco, the GM, is the reason why I got in the NFL. So, like, I'm very thankful.
Wasn't a lot of fans out there either. Once again, in the Charger Stadium, another home road game for them. Maybe she is one of the very few with the real stamina.
I don't know how you could be, like, I don't know how you could remain a fan. Like, it's very difficult to be a fan of a team that every single week it's like a cardiac situation, and then also on the losing side of, seemingly. It's like you get your hopes built up and then boom. And then you think about the Rams are in town. The Rams obviously going to win a Super Bowl in the stadium in LA, but then now they're rebuilding with a whole new crew, and they're like having success. It's like a fun team. So if you're in LA, and most of those people move from other places, and they have teams that they're fans of already, so like that is going to hurt the home field situation, because the people that moved to LA that are seeing their team come to town for the first time, they're probably more likely to go. But if you're an LA person just trying to pick up a team, it's like, if you're just getting into football, the Rams feel like the team that you would just naturally go to, especially if you want to be a happier human, seemingly. If you want to be able to have, like, stars on that team, not that Herbert isn't, but like Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford now, like Jalen Ramsey was there. Like, they had names star-studded. It's almost like the race to get all the football fans in LA. The Rams hit hard, hit early, had success, and now they're rebuilding again. And it's like, what are Chargers fans going through? Well, it's like every single week you have no idea how you're going to lose, but you know it's coming. That's a tough thing when you're trying to build a brand. I appreciate that they're an explosive brand. I appreciate that they think about how it's got to be entertaining football, because we are trying to attract new fans. But it's like all the entertaining shit does not matter if you just lose heartbreaking games. Yeah. And they're second most in the last 2 seasons, 3 points or less. We're only 6 weeks into the season, by the way. So this isn't like 2 full seasons. This is a season and a half pretty much with these numbers. That's a lot of heartbreak. Those close ones, if a ball happens to just bounce your way, you win that game. The Lions enjoyed this life for 30 years or whatever.
The entire Matthew Stafford era was this. I feel so bad for Chargers fans because every time I watch them, I go, wow, that's what I used to go through every single week. We'd be so close, and then bang,
It's like
that thing is lost.
It's like Jets fans. How Jets fans feel. Jets fans are like, how are we going to mess this up? And it's like Chargers fans are now doing that in a new home. That's going to be tough to garner new fans.
And just wait, Herbert will get blamed for this at some point, just like Stafford did in Detroit.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I
A
didn't even think-
lot of interceptions on like one-score games.
Yep.
Yeah, well, if Staley's still
See, there he
was gonna
is.
say-
He's already starting.
No, look, I'm a huge fan of this kid. His talent is unbelievable, but obviously we know talent is only gonna go so far. You gotta, like you mentioned, you gotta win games. You gotta get over the hump, and you're gonna look at the head coach. You're gonna look at the quarterback. Like that's just how that's why they get paid the big bucks.
Winning cures all. It legitimately does. Losing, though, exposes
Yes.
everything. And it is so quick how it all can come. And who knows what the Chargers look like in the future, but I hope for their fans, especially that lady.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bingo.
Hey, lady, thank you.
Need more
Thank
of
you,
her.
lady.
More of you, lady.
I don't know how many people are saying thank you to that lady, but I would like to say thank you to this lady.
Look at that passion.
I mean, are you kidding me?
You need those fans.
Are you kidding me right there? Look at that.
So good.
Sorry for doubting you, lady.
And then, oh my God, we lose. Stephon Gilmore gets a pick. And we are the worst night of my life. That's every day.
Can you imagine her sitting through that and then they get beat and it's like, oh, great, now I got to go sit in traffic for 3 hours. I'm never coming to one of these games ever again.
And then this lady, I do believe,
And then next week, she's right back there.
she's, just like the players. Monday, Tuesday after a game, the Toradol is wearing off. Sore, can't really walk much.
Couple tough days.
Not a lot of happiness coming out of this lady for Monday or Tuesdays after losses. No. But she has a 24-hour rule, just like the players do. She flushes that, and she gets ready for that next home game, and she's coming in full emotion, ready to hop on the roller coaster that is the Brandon Staley, Justin Herbert Chargers football game, and she rides that thing till the end. We need more of her. I hope Goodell gives her Super Bowl tickets forever.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
sweet.
that is amazing to see. I appreciate that she's not ashamed of it either. You know what I mean? She had to know at some point, hey, a lot of people have seen you lose your mind. Not now.
Yeah. Game's on.
Like even more.
Third down.
What are we talking about?
Third down
What
right
are you
now.
doing? It's fourth down. You know what Staley's doing? Something he's not supposed to do. We have to watch right now. She didn't even know, probably.
No.
There's people trying to tell her, hey, lady, you are...
Everywhere.
You've become a part of the game. Do you know? Shut up. Yeah, I'm in the game. Yeah. I love everything about it. Let's talk about another quarterback that is probably, now it seems like in this case, out for the rest of the season. That's Anthony Richardson here of the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Irsay did an interview with Stephen Holder of ESPN and said that he's probably going to get season-ending shoulder surgery. Now, there's debate going, but it's probably going to lead towards surgery in the next week or so, Irsay said to Stephen Holder. We're just trying to figure out exactly how and when and what we want to do and what Anthony wants to do. That last part, what Anthony Richardson prefers, is a key element, Irsay said. The final decision will be up to Richardson and those advising him, though most players tend to follow the medical advice. All right, a lot of things have been said here. By Jim Irsay, by Stephen Holder, I think by Schefter, who released the information that Anthony Richardson is leaning towards season-ending shoulder surgery. And it kind of read as if Anthony Richardson was like opting out of this season and choosing to get a surgery. And then, it kind of got muddied in the waters, but they don't know what's going to happen. Jim Irsay saying here, hey, what Anthony Richardson prefers is definitely going to be a part of this discussion and a part of what the decision being made. Has an AC sprain. We don't know what the grade is, right? I don't think they.
No, we haven't heard.
No.
They've not. It's 3 or 2, or we assume it's a 3 or 2 because I think those are the only 2 that you're allowed to do surgery on. What I have been told by people in the building is that this is not just like Anthony Richardson opting out of the season, which is the way it kind of read. And to be honest, when I heard that, it scared the shit out of me. I was like, wait a minute, this guy is just opting to not play the rest of his rookie season in which we need him to play football, and it's not something that other people are telling him. That's kind of the narrative that started getting kind of looked at or could be viewed. What I've been told is that's not the case at all. Like, Anthony Richardson is devastated. He is not pumped about this at all. There's doctors involved in this conversation. There's trainers involved in this conversation. There's team organization a part of this conversation. His team's a part of this conversation. So I think there's a lot of people that have looked into this. If they thought that this was going to be the result, they would have done it immediately, but they've really done all their due diligence, and it's just like a mountain of information coming in with a decision being made. I don't know what Jim Irsay was referring to with the debate that was going on. I don't know if there's necessarily a medical person. I do not know this. If there's a medical person that's saying, like, don't need the surgery, just keep it moving, or if it's potentially something else. But from what I've been told, there's a lot of parties involved in this. The future of Anthony Richardson is a very high priority. And then also Anthony Richardson, if it does happen to have surgery and is out for the season, is going to be devastated and is devastated thinking about it. So that's good news.
Yeah.
Bad news, but good news to hear that it's not just Anthony saying, yep, I'm done for the year, get me out of here when we're done with week 6, which could have been kind of the angle with the way the news was broken, but still a bummer for the Indianapolis Colts, because that dude, whenever he's playing, is electrifying. But he got hurt 4 out of the 5 games that he played. Now he's out for the rest of the season. It's like, we're just obviously going to restart next year with him, but how does that look? What are they going to have to do? In football, reps is everything he needs, and he's missing out on key ones, but we hope he recovers quickly. This is worst start
Brutal.
you could have for a guy that needs playing time to become the guy that everybody thinks and what he was drafted for at 4.
Yeah.
He was drafted for his potential and what he could become. How do you get there? Playing reps. And it's like, now we're going to miss out on a bunch of them. We've already missed out on the first 5 games.
Yeah, and in college, this was the thing. He didn't play a ton of games because of these reasons, injury, health concerns. And now to start off your NFL career like this, obviously for him, you want to make sure that, hey, it's just a minor setback for a major comeback. So you get a second, a third opinion, whatever. So you do all your due diligence there. And hopefully we can get him full speed 100% next year if that's the case. But it really sucks for the Colts fan base. Obviously, we've been waiting so long. It seems like Andrew Luck retired 20 years ago now, and every year has been a different starting quarterback. So now finally, the city and everybody. We were in the stadium, his first, intro for a real game, and it was just a different buzz in there. But like you said, it's very concerning for him to start his career off like this. 3 or 4 games he either came out or missed, and then now potentially out for the year. Sucks. Yeah, devastating start to this whole thing, obviously.
Yeah, and D-Bud said it stinks for, Colts fans. It stinks for all fans because it was a genuine joy to go watch that guy play football, and it was a completely different vibe in the city. And as much as I do shit on the Colts, it is a massive bummer that Anthony Richardson won't be playing. But don't you think a little silver lining is in those games that he played, he's a guy. Like, if he can stay healthy, that he has the talent. Like, how many times do you go through the first 5 games?
That's what makes it
and you don't
worse.
know.
It's that second one.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's like, is it going to be possible for him to stay healthy? Or is he just going to develop into the most prolific pocket passer, over the next year while he's rehabbing a shoulder surgery on his throwing arm? That is also a thought. Because if not, he's going to have to use, this is the NFL. Mm-hmm. This is what he was drafted for. He's going to have to be able to run. I see a lot of people saying, they shouldn't run. They ruined this kid with the way they ran him. And, some people actually believe that. It's that's why he was drafted at 4, because he can. That's what he that's why he is potential to be different than everybody else. So I don't know how. And Shane Steichen was brought in to run the offense.
Exactly.
That does that. It was like they were married together. So I don't know. I know Shane can probably adjust a little bit, but it's I am very worried that with how this has started, it's already slowed down a process to greatness that was certainly on the horizon with him. And it's will we be able to just pick up with the magic that was as soon as the season starts next year? Because his first couple games, this dude was scoring 2 touchdowns a game. It was just no problem. How you doing? Let's go ahead and deal.
Sick.
And then now it's let's put a pause on that, and then let's get back to it in 5-6 months after throwing. That's tough, bro. So now he's starting back from the bottom again. It's I hate to see it for him. I'm very, very, very bummed about it.
It's also horseshit to insinuate that they did this to him, because most Colts fans, you mentioned it, they don't want just a pocket passer. That's not why you drafted this guy. It's because he has a very special set of abilities that very few guys have. Look at what Jalen Hurts did. He's not as big as Anthony Richardson. And they were just fine, in Steichen's offense doing a very similar thing. it is what it is. And, it's unfortunate that it's playing out this way, but like, you don't next year want to be like, all right, we got to just strip the running from his game completely. It's like, okay, well then why the hell did you draft the guy if you don't even want him to do what he is very capable and very good at doing?
You could draft Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to get just a pocket passer, in Purdue here, right down the road.
Yeah, local kid.
Everybody would have been pumped about it. Use number 4 maybe on a weapon, maybe a wide receiver.
Right.
And then let's just keep it moving. Bring in another offense coordinator. Don't bring in Shane Syke be the head coach. Bring in another offense coordinator. It's just like, I'm bummed about it. I've heard from reports from in the building he is devastated by this thing.
That's good.
Which is great news to hear, but terrible news on the other side. Now we roll with Gardner Minshew coming off his worst NFL game.
Wow.
Okay, a lot of emotion down there in Duval, but now the team is his for the rest of the year. So Gardner, let's make sure that Minshew Mania is running wild. Bro.
Yeah.
Need it, baby.
He's going to go nuts. He'll have a few awesome games. Is there any silver lining for you?
See what you just did right there?
But that he's going to have some awesome games?
Yeah, it was the way you said, yeah, he's going to go nuts. And I was like, let's get to the next point. And then you said, for some games.
Yeah, once a while.
Exactly. For a few games.
He had a slow start against Jacksonville. Okay. Guy had 4 turnovers. What do you want? Sue him. Okay. The place is going crazy. He built that stadium.
Exactly.
Okay. Those pools?
On his back.
That's because of Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
So let's not
Literally,
go.
he had the drill and the hammer.
Yeah,
he did
built
it all.
Most off days on Tuesdays, people are either resting or helping the world. Gardner Minshew with his bandana and his jorts.
Yep.
Building the pool
Exactly.
in the stadium.
Testing
So
the
he,
pH levels.
boom, he's doing the whole thing.
The whole 9.
They thought about putting it as sea salt, but then they said, no, let's do chlorine.
Exactly.
Because then Gardner will have to do much more work,
Right.
and it will be a terrible thing.
Smart.
Chlorine pools, by the way, quite a hustle.
Yeah.
Especially in this modern world. You know what I mean?
Need the salt.
Yeah,
Salt.
need the salt.
Yeah.
But then they try to tell you, like, oh, it's so expensive to get a salt. It's like, well, let's start doing the math for the chlorine and everything that is on the other side. What is it, like a year worth of time? And they always act like it's impossible. Anyways, Gardner Minshew built that stadium. So he was a little bit rattled. Okay?
Yeah.
Sue him. The guy just went back to a town that he saved.
Yeah.
So he did not have his best football game. Josh Allen was a maniac. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense, good. The Jacksonville Jaguars offense, good. Well, we'll see what happens with Trevor Lawrence's knee, obviously. The Jacksonville Jaguars special teams, good. They're a good team. Gardner Minshew with emotions, running into a buzzsaw, especially their first game back in the United States of America. The humidity was crazy. He didn't have a good grip on it. These things happen. He's going to bounce back all the games, not just some of the games. And I still like the Colts.
Yeah.
I still like the Colts to go on. I'll go on
Good test.
win a
Good
couple
test.
games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better than last
He's
year.
got the Browns this week. That'd be a good test.
Win a couple games.
Oh,
Gardner
boy.
Minshew against the Browns defense.
Boy.
Yeah.
Great. That's exactly who you want coming off your worst game as a pro. He ain't scared. That's why he's Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit. That's here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fun fact, Gardner against Jim Schwartz, 13-0.
That's a fake.
That's not
That's
true.
not a real stat. We're on ESPN now, so
Yeah,
people,
not
Tony,
true.
you can't say those things. But anyways, some of the games you said about Gardner.
Yeah, some of the games, and I didn't see all those highlights before. Holy shit, maybe only a couple games, but when you think about the injuries they are, does it help a little? Maybe that Tua was the same thing if he's healthy, and that was the whole storyline, and that might be the Colts storyline, but he kind of fixed that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Tua was concussions.
Yeah,
Yes.
he got
Well,
and
it
back.
was
Concussions,
also a
ankle,
hip.
Yeah,
And,
hip,
Well, hip was in
ankle.
college, right?
The first concussion was a back.
Since he's gotten into the NFL, all concussion-based stuff,
His
right?
ribs, he has fractured ribs.
Fractured
That
ribs.
maybe weren't fractured.
Flores
kinda
chose
were.
to sat him because of a finger. That also happened.
Yeah, and then he came in on Thursday night against the Ravens. Yeah,
That was great.
Forgot
That was
about
great.
that.
spinning
Yeah.
a narrative there.
But yes, he did have like 6 concussions last year.
Okay, so
Either way, jiu-jitsu, AR, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
definitely get into the jiu-jitsu. I think it's going to be tough with the shoulder rehab because I think a lot of jiu-jitsu is like arms and dipping and rolling and stuff like that. But yeah, when he scores that touchdown and he gets that concussion, there is a thought that maybe what Tua learned was, hey, you just use your momentum to do a backflip there as opposed to your head hitting the thing. And that's what Tua learned. So maybe that would knock out the Houston Texans injury, obviously, which was a concussion while scoring a touchdown and then celebrating, playing, and then getting ruled a concussion later in the game. It's just like, hope he stays healthy, honestly, genuinely. But I fear.
Yeah.
I very much fear
I would too.
that it's not going to be the case because some people just get unlucky too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All the
Like
time.
some people just get very unlucky. Some people get very lucky, and some people get very unlucky. Seems like thus far Anthony Richardson has been incredibly unlucky, but it's going to flip later, Anthony. It's going to change. It's going to change. Speaking of change, there's a little change of tune from Robert Saleh about talking shit about other quarterbacks that they have played against. Now, I do not necessarily agree with what he said this morning on Good Morning Football, but here is what Robert Saleh said about what he said about the quarterbacks that his defense has played this season.
The word embarrassed was probably not the right choice of words for me at that time, but I do. There's a lot of faith in our defense and Jeff Albrecht and how good a job him and the defensive staff do in terms of preparing guys every week and just doing everything we can to make quarterbacks' lives hell. And it starts up front with our 4-man rush and the complexity of our zone defenses and how precise we are in executing play in and play out within those defenses and or coverages. It's not a knock on any of those guys. Josh Allen, Mahomes, Hurts, they're some of the best quarterbacks in all of football. And anytime you can get an opportunity to play those types of players, it's always going to bring out your best. And but there's a lot of pride to it. They're the best of the best, and when you can perform at a high level versus the best of the best, it is something to be proud of. But we're still going to get a lot of opportunity coming up. The Giants, Daniel Jones gets back healthy, got a lot of respect for him, and even Tyrod and all his career. And you'll just look at the list of quarterbacks. You got Herbert following after that, and there's so many damn good quarterbacks in this league. And it is a quarterback-driven league, and when you can make it hard on them, it's always fun.
I appreciate that he had to come out and say that I didn't mean embarrass, because every quarterback that he was talking to understood that he was just talking shit. Now, I assume a lot of media people kind of took his words and made it a much bigger deal than Patrick did or Josh Allen or Jalen did. But he was just kind of saying, yeah, we embarrassed them. Like, I think just in passing. But with that being said, we looked at a lot of the stats. I mean, this is a defensive year. And their defense has the capability to be able to carry them into a position in which if Aaron Rodgers is able to get back and play, why not the Jets? Have we fully comprehended that is a potential storyline of this NFL season? That going into the year, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets was OD'd in everybody's face. Yep. Hey, boom. Propaganda. Bang. You're going to win a Super Bowl. Boom. The Jets fans, it's different this year. Bang. Lasted 4 plays. Even after that United States flag being run out on a MetLife on September 11th. I mean, what a moment. It was a movie being made. Then the movie gets put on pause. Achilles, you're done. Aaron says, I don't think so. With what he's been able to do, and obviously we'll talk to him in less than an hour or so, him coming back with what this defense can do. Let's assume he's coming back. They have a chance to make a run for real with how good their defense is. Yeah. And I appreciate that Saul is talking shit for him.
Yeah, definitely have a chance to make a run with the talent on that offensive side of the ball. And Dalvin Cook really hasn't really still gotten going yet. The other receivers outside of Garrett Wilson, I don't think so either. But once you put Aaron Rodgers into that offense, everybody kind of comes more alive. And then defensively, for them not to just have the wins completely taken out of themselves after that injury, get behind Zach Wilson. He's doing better, keeping him in games. It's going to be incredible
what a movie that would be. We all thought we were watching the movie.
Can come back. And it's becoming much more believable now. Obviously, after we saw him throwing the ball last week, who knows what he's going to be doing 2 weeks from now. Like, if he can get back by, week 14, 15, that would be crazy.
Shannon Sharp said this morning that what I know about medicine is what Shannon said. What we all know about medicine, there's no way he can come back as fast as he can. But you look at this video, and we'll talk to him about it in about 34 minutes or so. It's like, this dude is just casually rolling through this Achilles recovery, and then he's talking every single week like, yeah, this is happening.
Gonna play.
Yeah, this is happening. And obviously, manifestation and words are spelled because they cast spells and how people think and the narrative and everything like that. But there hasn't been a doubt since day one that he's coming back. And if this Jets defense can continue to shut down, I mean, you talk about later in the season when it matters in playoffs. Can you win in December? Can you win in January? It's like, can you beat the quarterback on the other side? They've already had a gauntlet of QBs, and they've proven that they can. And I think throughout the last couple of years, that defense has proven that they can. So if Zach Wilson can continue to keep them around, and the Jets defense and special teams can do what they do, what a story this would be. And Salah, don't be apologizing for any of that. Don't be.
He's kind of got
He seems to do that quite a bit.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he has to.
I tend to walk things.
He doesn't have to, but, as a head coach, it's a certain certain things you say. It's like a certain code they live by, right? And
I guess
just like with Hackett and Sean Payton, that situation,
stinks.
like that was, it is what it is. When you wear that hat as a head coach and you represent an organization, it's certain things you say, certain things you don't say. So I get him. I loved it. I love him saying, "Hey, we embarrass these guys," because that's what it is. But once again, your DC, your players got to go out there and play. I respect it. I get it. Right?
I understand he was probably told to apologize or to correct himself by the Jets PR person, who was certainly something. But I also appreciate the fact that his immediate response after the game was, like, his genuine actual response was, "Who's next?" Okay? You give us Pat, you give us Josh, you give us Jalen. Who's next? Well, who it could be, at the end of the day, is somebody in their division. And it's an offense that has been so prolific down in the 305 that it's not only being titled the fastest show on turf, the greatest show on turf, but it's being called that times 10. Now, we know that Achane was a conversation because this rookie was doing things that we hadn't seen before. Quietly, in the same position meeting room, there was a man scoring more touchdowns than any human, basically, since 1970. Ladies and gentlemen, running back for the Miami Dolphins. 11 touchdowns, 6 weeks. Only 2 people have done this since 1970. Raheem Mostert.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey, I just mentioned all the stats there quickly, and I'm sure there's many more. And we were all talking about Achane. Well, first of all, Achane. Then Achane, because he had a name change because what he was doing. And you just quietly were just racking up tuds. That's all you were doing, 11 through 6 weeks. And that's kind of a bigger picture I'd like to talk about. Your offense has so many weapons. Okay, we got Tyreek Hill, obviously, who we've all learned to absolutely love off the field and on the field. Waddle's doing his thing. Achane came in. O'Toole was doing his thing. Tight end was there. You were there. How has everybody been able to maintain like this humility of like, we don't care who gets the spotlight and we're just here to dominate folks? What is it about behind the scenes with your team that has kind of kept everything quiet and no bullshit that could come from a lot of personalities in one building?
Well, in retrospect, everybody is for the team. I think that's the biggest thing, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We got a whole bunch of playmakers that can get the job done at any moment. And as you can tell, we're just flying. We're just flying through. So everybody understands the severity of each position. And we just go out there on a day-to-day basis, man, and just try to put our best foot forward.
We see McDaniel rocking the sweet off-white Air Forces, on game day, and the pulled-up sweats, and we see him race a cameraman at halftime when he's playing against New England. He seems to be one of the coolest dudes of all time. How is he as a leader? Is what you see what you get, or does he change it up a little bit for team meetings and other things like that?
Now, what you see is what you get. He's very consistent. I mean, my part with him in San Francisco, he when he was a run game coordinator and potential, offensive coordinator, man, he's always had this level head of wanting to be great, wanting guys around him to be great, and wanting the players to be great. And he's taking that role, times 10 in the head coaching job. So for him, he's all about consistency, and he's been able to be consistent as a head coach and as a leader and play caller. This guy is just truly something remarkable.
Yeah, it feels like the plays that are being called, just everybody's trying to copy, but they're not able to fully figure it out. What is it about this offense you think that makes it so successful? And are there some plays that you all know are a guaranteed touchdown as it's being called in the huddle?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the biggest things is our speed. We got a whole bunch of guys that are fast. Myself included, Tyreek, Waddle, Achane. It's a whole bunch of us. I mean, we just know how to separate. I mean, even with Braxton comes in and he's also a guy that has been slept on for quite some time in the league, and he's been able to do his due diligence. So. We just have a whole bunch of guys that can get the job done, like I mentioned, and we just rolling fast, man. And obviously the speed is a big factor. I see college guys now trying to run a certain motion that we call, in these plays and jumping off sides, and guys in the league are trying to, mimic the same plays. I mean, this league now is just a copycat league. So, we're just trying to put something out there that's a winning product.
Let's talk about those motions, because I think what you're talking about is the right before snap motion that kind of just makes everybody lose their mind. I don't think people respect how much work goes into that. Like, you guys have to practice that on a very regular basis, I assume, but you understand how much of a weapon it is, and how does McDaniel kind of implement that?
it's all about separation. We're able to utilize the speed to max, and the motion man is something that hasn't been done ever in the league, and we're taking full advantage of it. And we got the characters, the guys to do it. So,
I would say, yeah. It feels like it's working out. Last question for me before the boys have some. Tua this year, and we talked about his jiu-jitsu, and we have eagerly awaited the time where a defensive end comes around, he throws the ball, then he grabs his arm, puts him in an arm bar, and breaks that shit in the middle. Like, that's what we're hoping for. In December football, when it really matters, we hope Tua busts that out. But what have you seen from – I feel like we've seen a lot more of Tua's personality this year, publicly at least. I don't know about behind closed doors. Yeah. What have you seen him take another step in this year, both as a leader and the face of your franchise?
Yeah, I mean, he's going into year 2 in the offense. He hasn't been able to do that, since he's entered the league. And I think that's a big, turnover for him. And he's always had that leadership mentality. I mean, last year, for me working with him for the first time, I could tell that he was poised to be a great leader. He speaks very well. He wants the best out of the guys in the room, the guys around him. And he's very selfless. He's a selfless type of guy, and he wants the best, like I said. And with this year, he's just taking these leaps and bounds that are just remarkable. If you see what he's doing, I mean, he's breaking all kinds of records. He's holding himself to a higher standard, and I think that's what you need in a quarterback.
Yeah, he's been. Because last year we saw a little bit of it when they were talking about his deep ball ability, and in the press conference he was like, "Did you see the?" Remember he.
Yeah, and he's talking his talk too. He's letting it be known that, hey, you trying to count me out on my deep ball. Look what I'm doing.
Yeah, I loved it.
He's doing it quietly. So
I loved it, Raheem, because before that, we didn't hear anything from him. He almost didn't talk. And the way the Dolphins had treated him, this is old days, Gumpy. I'm not talking about now. But that first year for Tua in the NFL with the Dolphins was not a fun experience, I don't think. He was super quiet. To see that he's got his confidence still and almost his swagger, and then what you guys are able to do, it's a beautiful thing about not giving up on a quarterback too quick. Ty has a question for you about that point.
Yeah, Raheem, a lot of people are saying you guys are the greatest show on turf, times 10, and a lot of people remember how good those St. Louis Rams teams are. Obviously, when you're scoring 70 points against the Broncos and just putting up a bunch of points every week, it's probably, it's just week after week for you guys. But how aware of your historical greatness on offense is the entire offense?
I mean, we try not to put ourselves in that category. We feel like we're in our own category. But all in all, we're just trying to go out there and just trying to make, the best of the situation. And of course, that comes with a lot of scoring. And I was talking to Eric Stewsville, my running backs coach, Sunday, and I was like, hey, because he witnessed a whole bunch of games, and he was, he witnessed that team, St. Louis Rams, when they're the best show on turf. And I asked him, I said, hey, look, how do you feel about us being the best show on turf? And he was like, we ain't on turf anymore. And this is probably the fastest team I've ever been a part of and I've ever witnessed in all of football. So to even be, recognized in that category with a great team like that's Rams team, I mean, it's remarkable. But, you do have to keep that level head, and you have to keep pressing on. And each week brings a challenge. This week especially, we're going to go against Philly, which is an unbelievable, group of guys over there. I see what they're doing on both sides of the ball. I mean, even on special teams, they're just flying, and it's going to be a challenge for us. But if we can control what we control, I mean, nobody can really beat us.
Hey, can we talk about that though? You guys hang 70 on a team, and everybody just is it's the greatest offense of all time. But every week in the NFL, you're playing against somebody. There's great teams every single week. How do you guys maintain the thought of we're not, maybe we don't hang 50 today or 40 today? Is that is there messaging on the wall? Yeah, maybe not this week, though. And then how do you all remind each other, like, we need to keep going? Because it's only week 6. It's only week 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Raheem?
No, that's a good question. I think that the biggest thing that we try to focus on is what we can do. We're not worried about how many points we're going to put up. We know that we're gonna be impactful in the game. And this past week, we played against Carolina and they were up 14-0 within like the first 8 minutes of the game, and we were like, hey, we need to tighten up now. It's not like us. We had our first 3 and out in the first quarter of the season, and we didn't put our heads down. We weren't like, oh man, this game's already over with. No, we were like, look, this is going to be a better challenge for us when we come back and do what we got to do. So we don't necessarily look at, oh, hey, we're going to put up, 60 points this week and 20 points or 30 points. We're just like, whenever we get that opportunity, you better watch out.
Yeah, it took you guys 2 drives, by the way, to come back for that.
Yep.
And that was all she wrote. Yeah, it turned quick after that whole thing.
Yeah.
The speed, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Raheem, a lot's been talked about the speed on your team. I believe you, Tyreek, A-Chain, and Waddle have all been clocked at 23 miles an hour on the field, which is absurd. Have you guys had a chance, all 4 of you, to line up and race, or has there been any talks about that, creating a 4x1 team for the Olympics? What are we doing over there?
Yeah, we talk all the time. We always joke about each other's speed, and I tell everybody I'm the fastest in the room. I'm the fastest in the group, and if you ask everybody else, they'll tell them that they're the fastest. But all in all, we do feel like we have the fastest. We know that we have the fastest team in the NFL, and if anybody else wants to compete with us in the 4x1, we'll take that challenge full on. We're just trying to figure out who's going to lead what leg. I told the guys that I'm either the first leg or last leg, and Reek is like, I'll take second. Jalen's like, hey, I'll take the second leg, and Devon's like, hey, I'll take any leg. So it's really a toss up, man, honestly, and yeah, it's fun, man. It's definitely a fun experience.
I think I've heard that you guys raced in the OTAs. Is that true? Do you guys race?
I missed that race.
Oh, what happened? Yeah. Okay, so because this is standard operating procedure for workouts, conditioning, afterwards, 2 guys talking shit to each other. Okay, let's race. I would assume down there, this is something that every human that's been there has been the one that has won the race all the time. So you guys had a race, you weren't there. How'd we miss it? When do we do another one?
We're familiar. I guess the receivers had something going on with, running starts, or they try to get out of their breaks or whatever. And something happened between Jalen and Tyreek. I don't know the specifics all that well. And I can't, give you any insight, but let's just say it was a good race.
Hold on though. Because Tyreek, I don't want to say a guy hawked him last week.
Oh, yeah. You heard what he said the other week, though. He did mention how he was washed up. So, you could say that about me, too, because I didn't.
Yeah, but Raheem, the only reason why I think we all just assume Tyreek is the fastest is because, he was calling out Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He was calling out Usain Bolt. It wasn't like other NFL guys. It was like, hey, the guy that is known for just being the fastest human on earth would love to see. Would love to see how this goes. And I think we've seen him do some track. You were an accomplished track guy, I assume?
Yeah, I was at Purdue, 4-time Big Ten champ. So,
well, they got speed in the Big Ten too.
That's right.
A lot of it.
You know what I mean? People aren't talking about it.
Speed in bunches.
People aren't talking about it. All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us. Congrats on the hell of a start to the season. I can't wait to watch you guys the rest of the way. And when you set up that race, there has to be money to be made in that. You know what I mean? There has to.
We'll see, but it's all about bragging rights, right? That's what you want at the end of the day. Is all about the bragging rights and a nice little donation to the foundation. So if we can get that going, then I'm more than welcome, and I want to be in that race for sure.
Yeah, consider it done. Yeah, I don't know what number it is, but we can find it. We appreciate the hell out of you, ladies and gentlemen. Raheem Mostert. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. When you have that much speed in an off-season workout, I couldn't even imagine the chatter that's happening. Because you're running sprints. And although the coaches are counting, and I'm a guy that is just getting in before the time that we need, there are guys that are, actually working on getting faster in those sprints. And all the dudes that are down there on every team they've ever been on in all those workouts have been the guys that have been getting challenged by people. Like, I want you. Those become a thing in these workouts. Like, all right, here we, like, everybody's like, Shit, I'll watch. I mean, these two guys, two of the fastest guys are going to run. Down there, it's a track meet. I couldn't even fathom the amount of times where somebody gets called out, let alone like punter, kicker, shit talker during one of those. Achan like beats, Tyreek or beats Raheem Mostert. Be like, young guy, fastest guy. Just the amount of this. And now, obviously, that makes everybody better. Everybody's working. Speed, I assume, will only help each other get faster and remain faster and everything like that. But I couldn't even imagine the amount of talk and chirping that happens at those workouts down there.
Insane. And usually that's kind of all it is. A lot of talking, a lot of chirping, because it's a lot of pride on the line. And once you race, guys aren't racing every day or every week. You might race somebody one time and be their teammate for 4 years. So a lot of pride on the line. So I'm happy to hear they actually race. He was a little tight-lipped with the results, which I respect. But I hope at one point this upcoming offseason we can see all four of them line up.
Yeah, I see lights on. Because remember, Micah and them did that race at the Pro Bowl. And Tyreek didn't try.
Not at all.
Very clearly didn't try, which I respect. Okay, if you're going to choose to do that. Nah, I don't think you should have been in it. But,
If you're going to line up, run.
Right, that's kind of. You know what I mean? But also I think maybe he felt forced to be in the – because he is Tyreek Hill. Yep. So I don't know but we need lights on track.
Oh, yeah.
That's an easy broadcast. Have a couple other races. Have offensive linemen race each other.
Yep.
Bingo.
Have a couple D linemen race each other.
Tight ends.
Linebacker. Yeah. And then the showcase at the end is like, hey, who's the fastest dude in the NFL?
Yeah.
And then put actual money on the line so people do it.
Right.
And it's like that's an event in the offseason when we are watching pickleball on Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that feels like a very easy thing to kind of get put together. All he said is he needs a donation. All right.
Yeah.
Done
So
deal.
we got one guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
We got one guy. I don't know how many more people we need to get, but I feel like we can make this happen. And, to your point, you lose this year in the race. Doesn't mean you're going to lose next year.
No.
Exactly.
You got a chance to hop back on that horse now for the whole year, though.
Yeah.
Everybody on Earth
gonna be
is going to
loud.
be able to talk about who did what. But I appreciate the competitive vibes down there. Seems like it's working for the Dolphins. And what do you say about McDaniel? Every day, same guy, consistent guy. Even when they started losing last year. Remember, end of year last year, it was not all like happiness.
Yeah.
It was not all everything's great. It was the complete opposite of that. They thought Tua was potentially going to be done. Their team was nowhere near as effective as they were when Tua was the quarterback, and he remained the same guy. I think his team learned a lot about him then, and then whenever they came back this year, better than ever. What a wagon!
That's when you earn the respect of your team. You consistently that same guy. Your message is the same, and obviously it changed with what's going on in the league and in your team and in your locker room. But Raheem has been around Mike McDaniel for a long time, so he would know. Sometimes people get that title as a head coach or as a play call, and they kind of change. It goes to their head, but that was good to hear from him.
Let's talk baseball real quick before we move on too much. The Phillies are awesome.
Yes, they are.
I am so happy to be a Phillies fan. Listen, I've been talking about this team for a long time. You can go all the way back to who was I talking about? When old Buddy played
Ryan
for him.
Howard.
Yeah. When
Tug McGraw.
Jimmy Rollins.
Man, I was talking about those guys. Like, it feels like it's one of those teams, is what I said this year about this Phillies team. And then getting a chance to chat with Bryce Harper just a few days ago.
Right. John Kruk was your favorite player growing up.
I've been saying
love
that.
Lenny Dykstra.
Mike Schmidt.
Wild thing, Mitch Williams out of the bullpen.
I think Dykstra's been into some things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah, Nails he's had his time.
So, Nick, I don't know. I don't know a lot about baseball, but I do think you just tried to throw me into something there. And I would like to say I didn't even know Dykstra was a Philly. But with that being said, since Friday, when I talked to Bryce Harper, I said, this Phillies team's going all the way. The amount of times he said vibes about describing the Phillies locker room and their team and the city, I'm a vibes guy. I think if you see me make picks, it's like, how are the vibes for this team?
Have to.
All he said was the vibes are immaculate in Philadelphia. You watch the game, it's like a football game. They're into every single pitch. And then to start this thing yesterday, leadoff homer, then an out, then another dong shot from Bryce Harper after Schwarbo, leadoff, first pitch, fastball, good night. Schwarbo, formerly of the Cubs, obviously, also an IU guy from Indiana here. He hits a leadoff. Then 2 batters later, Bryce Harper goes, how you doing? Keep it moving. First pitch, fastball, gone. And then Castellanos says, hey, what are you boys doing? Oh, we're hitting dog shots. That was in the second inning, obviously. It just started. So Bryce turns 31. They hit 3 dong shots in their first 5 at-bats. And the Phillies are the most electrifying baseball team I've ever seen in my life. And yes, I've been watching baseball every day for the last 36 years.
Long time.
Is this the greatest performance we've seen in a playoff? Am I overreacting, or are they the most electrifying baseball team that has ever played baseball? Because that's what it felt like last night. I actually turned off. Okay?
Yeah, Monday Night Football.
Whoa.
For about 3 minutes.
Holy.
3 minutes. I go over because I heard Schwarbo. Gumpy sent a text. Schwarbo leadoff bomb in Philly. I'm like, oh, I forgot they're even playing. I go over there. It's Bryce Harper walking into the at-bat. I'm like, front of the program. This guy, perfect timing. And then he first pitch, gone. Boom. And it's like, all right. Boom. And then next inning, Castellanos, gone. It was like, all right, I got my baseball OD here. Yeah. Okay, I experienced baseball. Right, I went right back to Chargers-Cowboys. Yep. And I did not get the urge to go back because I just felt like the Phillies were going to kill them for the rest of the game. Yeah, I score 3. That's over in baseball. But what did I miss? And are they going to win this whole thing, Ty? You're our baseball guy.
It looks like they, as of right now, are on a collision course with the Rangers, who are also playing very, very well in the AL. But the big thing about the Phillies, like you mentioned, the football atmosphere. I think they said, it was like 111 or 118 decibels, like as loud as like an AC/DC concert. If they can jump on teams early at home, exactly, the away team gets thunderstruck. Like it is, like, because if they get ahead early like that, the crowd stays in it the entire game, and like that atmosphere is completely different. Then you could see Zach Wheeler, who was the starting pitcher of the Phillies, was just mowing guys down. I think he had 8 strikeouts through like 5 innings. Like if they're a vibes team like that, and you're getting those kind of vibes from the crowd, like they really do feel like a team of destiny right now.
How about Stott? Ayo, ayo, okay. Ayo, ayo, okay. Oh, yeah. They turn off the music. Yep. That's his walk-up song. Turn off the music, and the whole place is still singing it as he steps into the batter's box. It's like, think of the opposing pitcher. It's like, where the hell?
Yeah.
Where? What is it in, is it The Rookie, where they go like,
throwing the heat, Dad.
Dennis Quaid?
Whenever
zooms in,
he locks in and doesn't see anything else. I was at a kicking camp, and they showed this movie, and they were like, this is what you need to be when you're kicking. It's like, well, I am afraid that I do not have this, because I want to see, are these people singing Ayo, Ayo, okay, this is awesome. But there's like a mechanism engaged, I think, that was like said about the rookie, the pitcher, where you just kind of got to lock out and block out all that noise. It's just you and the catcher, and kicking and punting are kind of similar, and golf is kind of the same way. But I couldn't even imagine stepping in there with a baseball into that entire city pretty much, wishing for your demise. And then when they're singing, it's amazing. I don't know how you go in there and play baseball well, and it seems like nobody's been able to do it thus far in the playoffs.
Well, and that's why, like, if you're playing the Phillies, you have to steal one on the road. Like, you just absolutely have to. But also, like, their lineup is unbelievable. Like, Castellanos is hitting 7th. He'd probably either be batting 2, 4, or 5 for, like, 25 other teams. So, yeah, as of right now, like, especially when Harper's playing like that, I mean, they're just getting contributions from so many guys, and the way their pitching staff is, like, if they do score a couple runs early, like, there's a good chance they're going to hold on. So I think we are just on a collision course between them and the Rangers, who are also playing very good baseball.
Castellanos and Bryce Harper have 8 homers or something in the last 2, which ties them with something for it to be in the best of all time.
Yeah, Castellanos and Trey Turner.
Hashtag stat that.
Yeah, and who they're tied with, like Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth, but then Castellanos and Trey Turner. Trey Turner is also on their team. So, you know, his other teammate is the other guy he's tied with.
That was a Dodgers guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
pretty
good.
Sweet.
Very
the
good.
redheaded guy?
The one who's really good at sliding.
Yeah. Very, very, very fast.
Oh, I love that.
Pop-up slide, great at it.
The thing I love is just that it's paying off being a Phillies fan my whole life.
Yeah, it is.
It feels like this is really
finally
the moment it all comes together.
Mm-hmm. And these other teams who travel. They got to deal with the Philly scum in the stands. That's not an easy thing to do.
Oh, my God.
It's not.
It was awesome. It's hard not to get captivated by it, to be honest with you. Yeah. And then I remember there's football on. But, you know.
Playoff baseball is
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Those environments are insane.
It was awesome. The Arizona Diamondbacks fans were not happy with what I was saying, but Bryce Harper was seeing beach balls last night. And you know what happens when that happens? The Phillies are winning. Speaking of winning, we're back on the other side of this 3-minute break with AJ Hawk. See you then.
Pat McAfee's sell on your stunner at WrestleMania. Stunner! Where does that rank all time? That's got to be pretty up there.
Man, top 3 top three, and I got to say top three because The Rock, number one, the way he oversold, and Scott Hall and some of the other guys that took it. But I mean, Pat has a natural feel for the business, epic performer, great on the stick.
I apologize that you're a punk bitch.
Athletically, that match he had with Theory was awesome. And then the kicker was not only the sell of the stunner, but to lay there selling, still guzzling the beer, the presence of mind to ad lib and improvise and like this is a moment without even thinking about it. I think he's amazing. He's very entertaining. And as a human being, I like him a whole lot. And here's an off-the-record story. The second night that we were at Mania, I was just planning on drinking whiskey with my Broken Skull Sessions crew. And so we had a bottle all lined up, and we were just going to drink during the show and show respect to the people that were working. Well, Vince called me into his room and said, hey, man, would you come out in the end, stun me, McAfee, and Theory? And I said, sure. So I couldn't drink until after the show. Okay, so the show happens. I go out there, stun all those cats. Brock Lesnar gets done with his match, the main event with Roman Reigns. And me and Brock have been wanting to bond together and have a few cocktails to begin with. And he goes, hey, man, you got anything? I said, yeah. I said, where are we meeting? He goes, my locker room. So it was myself, Brock Lesnar, Larry, one of the trainers who's been there forever. You know Larry. And Pat McAfee.
What a day, what a dream, what a life. Now I'm going to have a couple more Steve Weisers. What? Maybe a little whiskey. What?
And we took down a fifth. We just passed the bottle around. At first we were drinking out of little cups. Then it just turned into the bottle. And we took down a fifth of Maker's Mark in about an hour. And then we all went our separate ways.
Hey, we fucking did it.
And I heard through the grapevine that a couple of those guys woke up with severe headaches.
Really? And I don't want to undersell this. Really hungover. You know what I mean?
From what you had inside the ring that we saw on camera, and then what was there a thing afterwards?
Well, there might have been, a lot afterwards.
But it was a bonding moment, after a big show like that of four guys, and I've just barely met Pat, but he was already one of the boys because of his football background and how everybody, the WWE has taken to him. And man.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
We walk out! Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts now. Football happened last night with the Cowboys getting a massive win over the Chargers on Monday Night Football. The story of the game was not only the Chargers fan who was losing her mind, but Dak Prescott having a big one after a devastating loss just the time before. Now, Mike McCarthy moves to 10-1 after a loss as a head coach since 2021 for the Cowboys. They've responded in a big way. The offense was able to move. But what's wrong with the Chargers? Are they ever going to be able to win a close one? Are they ever going to be able to live up to the hype? That's a conversation today that I'm lucky to have with the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Oh, I like the sloth there, but I learned that it's this thing.
Oh, yeah. A little piece right there.
So what I'm saying is we're all learning stuff every single day.
Yeah, I didn't know lapels were. Punctuality is one of those words I just acted
Being on time.
Being on time.
Yeah. So, sure.
Yeah, but maybe that's why they are assholes, because they're not punctual.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
And they got those claws, too. They can hug the hell out of you. If they love you, they love you. They're there for a long time in this loss.
Kind of like being a fan of a football team.
Just like that lady last night.
Yeah.
And I'll say there's been people that have said it was fake and that she was a mark and that she was getting paid. That's one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs and 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler. I don't like that at all. Let's bring in a guy who's super optimistic all the time, and I assume he just loves how big of a fan this lady was for the Chargers last night. Joining us now from Manhattan, Ohio, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, the current president of Ohio, and he will be making a speech to his people this Friday when we're live from Ohio State's campus for the entirety of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio hero, A.J. Hawk. Can't wait to hear you address the citizens of Ohio as their reigning president of the state of Ohio. Let's dive in. Sloths, assholes, or not, A.J. Hawk?
No, I've gotten to hold a sloth one time at the behind-the-scenes Jungle Jack Hanna situation.
Wow.
This sloth was very, very nice. I don't know. I think he actually passed a couple years ago. My wife was pretty hurt.
Thanks for the good news.
Rest in
He was
peace.
very nice. I think his name was Toddy. Very, very cool sloth.
Well, rest in peace to Toddy, obviously. That piece of information could have been left out of this one, but I guess since we're talking about Toddy, we got to have a moment of silence for that sloth.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a run with Jack Hanna. I saw you on Jimmy Kimmel and David Letterman, Jay Leno. A.J. Hawk manhandled you there for a couple times. Life worth living there, Toddy. Thank you.
Miss you, Toddy.
Now let's talk about the fan from last night. AJ, obviously, I see that, and I get super excited that there's still people who escape reality with the NFL. There's still people that every single play that takes place, they're living and dying with, even if their team... I love this woman.
Yeah.
Even if their team is a team that has devastating heartbreak week after week after week, she still has the resilience to show up and put herself on the line for this Chargers team. Your thoughts in LA with a lot of actors being there? Some people are saying it's fake, like Darius and Tone Diggs. What are your thoughts, AJ? I love it.
I never even crossed my mind that she was a setup, that she was a plant, and that this was a fake thing. I thought the whole time, I always appreciate when somebody is super passionate about something, they care that much. Now, I don't know what the rest of her family might feel like or the people around her, but man, this lady is absolutely dialed in and locked in. But she might, if she's sharing a suite with you, it might get a little annoying every once in a while if you're rooting against the Chargers, I think.
I think everybody's excited that they have one of the biggest fans in the history of fandom in their suite with them. They're asking to take pictures with her. She is so you're saying...
Now they're going to ruin it, though. Now they're going to put so much attention on her. They're going to ruin it. It's going to go to her head, and she's going to.
No, remember they slowed down with the Taylor Swift stuff. They only showed Jay-Z one time.
That was nice.
Showed LeBron one time.
Right.
They kind of dialed it back. But I do believe Roger Goodell, 6 to midnight, whenever he saw, oh my God, in Los Angeles, in a place with their team that has been tough to sell over there because the losses that they've had have been devastating. There's somebody that loves our sport and does this in public when a game's happening. We appreciate you, lady.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you, lady. Joining us now is a man we also appreciate, Mucho, a guy who's a 4-time NFL MVP and currently defying all medicine, seemingly, with the recovery of his Achilles. Ladies and gentlemen, quarterback for the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah! Oh, nice.
Hey, guys, since we're remembering animals today, let's remember the legend that was Harambe.
You're right.
Miss you, Harambe.
Let's have a moment of silence.
What happened to him?
Dead.
Shot in the head.
He was shot in the head, man.
Shot over and over. You're right.
At your zoo. At your zoo, AJ.
Nope.
Just kept shooting.
That's Cincinnati. I'm a Columbus Zoo guy. You know.
You sometimes.
Well, you just talked about a sloth, though, Jack Hanna's. Isn't that at Cincinnati?
Yeah, what's that
Nope.
about?
Columbus, pal.
Oh, Jack Hanna's Columbus. There's Toddy, dead.
Still Ohio. Still Ohio.
Yep.
Certainly. Certainly.
Can we get it? Can we get a pic of Harambe up there or not?
Well, we have one on your shirt there, and I think that was the last image that Harambe had.
This is not Harambe. This was what people thought Harambe was, but Harambe was kind and gentle and loving with that child.
A Buddhist.
You're 100% right. A Buddhist at heart. Just like Takate, if we're going to remember it, rest in peace to Takate as well, the whale that Jim wanted to put in a 757 and fly from Miami to Washington to put into the ocean so that she could live free with her family once more. Here's Harambe, by the way. Rest in peace to Harambe.
The statue. That's not Harambe. That's
Forget
just
about
a statue.
That lion that the dentist.
That's the only Harambe we got left because Harambe's dead, Connor. Hope you're happy.
I'm not.
Okay?
I'm not happy about it. But is the child still alive? So yeah. Sorry.
Let's move along. Shout out to the ape on your chest there that is very intimidating, and also Harambe, Takate, and Toddy, the sloth that we learned of just moments ago that AJ manhandled at the Columbus Zoo with Jack Hanna. Let's move along. Aaron, did you know that the reaction to you just casually playing catch before the game would have the reaction that it has? I assume yes, because everything you do gets talked about by everybody on earth. But the amount of swag and casualness to you transferring weight from one foot to the other, playing catch, no grimace on your face at all, has a lot of people thinking, you're going to make it back this season. What was that for you? Is this a normal day in rehab? How long have you been throwing like this? And are we back this year, like next week? Aaron, let's go.
Yeah, let's just cool our jets a little bit.
Next week, I heard.
Wow, here we go.
Shotgun, he can just
We're on a
casually.
bye week. We're on a bye week. We're on a bye week this week.
So definitely.
Next game?
Yeah,
2
definitely.
weeks?
Here we go.
Yeah.
More time.
Next game.
I'll definitely be back for the next game. But
Whoa!
as you can see, I'm in rehab right now. We're about 5 weeks tomorrow since surgery. 5 weeks yesterday was the injury. So the goal was, the first goal was to be able to get back on the field for the October 1st game. I was hoping without crutches, I just wasn't actually anywhere close to being able to get off of them. And then the next goal was to be able to throw on the field on the 15th. It's really just for me to be able to feel more normal. Just to be back around the guys was incredible. To be on the field without crutches, to be able to be on the sidelines, to be on the headset. It made me feel, like I wasn't so separated from the team. So really thankful for that. And yeah, obviously just about anything I do or say, there's some sort of reaction. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And I appreciate it. But that was a special moment for me to be able to feel a little bit more normal in 5 weeks. It's been really tough, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually.
So your recovery seems like it is anything but normal right now. You seem like you've sped up the process pretty quickly. Are you able to talk about any of the specific modalities, as you like to say, of what you're doing to kind of have such an instant impact and already be walking, throwing, doing all these things?
That's the big question for my teammates, friends, and obviously I'm sure outside of that group. But listen, I believe in the power of intention. I believe in the power of your mind and the willpower. Basically, this entire time I've kind of said this is what I'd like to do rehab-wise. Got some incredible people to work with, not just the Jets, but Heather here is amazing to work with. Neil, my doctor, Neil Alatrosh, did a kind of a newer, innovative surgery. And, I asked him if we could push it beyond the normal protocols. Cam Akers had the same surgery. He was able to come back in about 5 months. Me and JK both had the surgery within a couple of days of each other. And it'll be interesting to see what both of our prognosis is and our timetable. But I just wanted to do things quicker, smart, but quicker. And like I've said, the most important thing is you just don't want to stress the Achilles. Stress, okay. Stretch, not okay. So it's just about being smart with the rehab and pushing it as much as I can and then backing off on the days that it doesn't feel great.
So what does it feel like whenever you're throwing there? Is it just tight? And what can you do? What can't you do right now?
Yeah, I felt great. I really felt great. I had just a little bit of a limp. I'm just not quite walking perfectly normal. But throwing feels great. We've been doing a lot of different stuff here in the rehab gym around weight transfer and movement, just in a smaller area. Mostly just like transferring weight from a right foot to a left foot to a right foot. Left foot, that's where the surgery is, so that's the plant leg. Probably better in the short and the long term that it's not the push-off foot, the back of the drop. Obviously, the left foot's an important part of the punch step and the drop, and obviously it's the plant foot. But I think it's a little easier to than maybe if it was the back foot. I'm pushing off it every single time. So standing and throwing is not a problem. Moving in a small little area was not a problem. And I was excited to get back out there. And again, it just felt a little bit more normal in a time that hasn't anything has been the abnormal, anything I've tried to do. So nice to be able to be back out there.
Yeah, it felt like normal for you. For everybody else, it's defying medicine and logic and everything that's taking place. Because now the conversation is, okay, so they have a bye week this week. Obviously, he's back in 2 weeks. But legitimately, let's kind of shape this out. If he was to come back a month sooner than Akers was able to, it would be like December or January, which isn't, until a long time, but football is going to really matter there. Then the conversation goes to, well, he'll come back whenever he can defend himself, because you can't just be sitting back there and not be able to move. To defend yourself or protect yourself against guys that are coming, you're going to have a little bit of explosion, right? That's the big step. That'll be the big phase of when you could potentially get back on a football field. That's what we're waiting for almost.
Look, I think we're kind of way ahead, Pat, in just even saying that. There's just markers. You saw me walk without crutches and throw on the field. Like, that's another marker is going to be jogging, and then another marker is going to be going through a pregame workout probably and getting on the practice field. And all these are going to take time. It's not just going to be, boom, 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 boom. There's critical markers that I have to hit as far as single leg strength and being able to do heel raises and being able to do explosive movements. And these are all progressions that take time. So this is obviously we're ahead of schedule. There's a lot of factors to that. There's the way I've attacked the rehab. There's obviously the surgery that Dr. Elitrosh did. There's the rehab that I've done and kind of the round-the-clock approach that I've had. There's implementing the diet that I've been doing as well. And then just the power of the mind and the power of the manifestation of the desires. All those things together still doesn't get you back on the field. You have to hit a bunch of different things and be feeling a certain way. But that's the goal. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to put a timetable on it specifically. That makes absolutely no sense. Anybody that doesn't realize that there's a lot of things that have to happen to get to that point. But it's going to have to be jogging and then explosive movements and then practicing and then everybody signing off on it. And hopefully we get to have those conversations.
That's amazing. 3 weeks, dude. 3 weeks from right now, he's going to be back playing football fully.
Wow.
Because we saw, he was walking. That one Jets drive thing we saw.
Yep.
Because on TV, we saw him do this one, and they say, let me get one, and do this whole thing. But in the locker room, they showed him just, what? What?
Surprise?
What? That was like 3 weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen. And then now you're swaying. We just assume it's going to take place before this season ends with a lot of time left. And with what you've seen from this Jets team, what we've all seen, it's like they're going to be in this thing. And this is a powerful statement I hope you hear from the head coach. For those that didn't, here's Robert Saleh talking about Aaron Rodgers being in the building and everything that he's brought. And Aaron's probably going to be uncomfortable listening to this, but it sets up for the next question about his relationship with the head coach of the team.
I've told him this. From a dynamic standpoint, just so people understand, when players go on IR, most of the time they're kind of off on their own. And usually the older they are, and with regards to their time in the league, the more liberal in terms of just going out there and getting the rehab that they feel they need, because they know their bodies better than anybody. So whatever he needs to do to attack his rehab, we're going to support him either way. Selfishly as a coach, his superpower is his presence. And him being in this building, being around his teammates, being in the locker room, his positive attitude, his thoughts of manifestation and all that stuff, I think it's powerful. And so obviously as a coach, of course, selfishly, I want him here every single day. I want him in every meeting. I want him on the practice field. I want him on the sideline. I want him in the locker room, selfishly, because he's an unbelievable human. And outside of scheme and playing ability, the intangibles that he brings to his teammates and the fuel I think his teammates will give to him is priceless, and you just can't quantify it. You can't put a price on it. And but as far as being on the headsets, love his thoughts on the headsets. I guess you'd have to ask Hackett on how much it actually provides, but I definitely know he's got thoughts, and I know he's helping the quarterback the best he can. So him having a headset on, I can tell you this much: it doesn't hurt, and. So just having him out there, it's awesome. And him walking around, I think goes to show just the type of mindset that guy has. I've never had an Achilles tear. Hopefully I never do. I don't want to ruin my golf game. But he's, from my understanding, him walking around is crazy.
Okay, I hope your golf game's good, Coach. But also, as a guy, with everything that happened in Green Bay and how it went, and you go over to the Jets organization, big city, and how it kind of all unfolds, to watch what your coaches were saying about you in Hard Knocks obviously had to be absurd. But to hear him describe what your presence means to that team has to feel good. And on the flip side of that, do you feel an obligation whenever you're there to try to help out as much as possible, to be on the headset? And how much do you take that into consideration whenever you're back in the building?
Zero obligation whatsoever. I just did what I felt like was going to feel the best. And, I like helping out. So I was on the headset every game in the preseason. I think the coaches appreciate it. Sometimes I can be a voice of calm and reason on there when there's 8 different people trying to talk to Hackett or trying to tell him to say something to Zach. So, listen, I don't think I had a major impact on the game. Maybe calm some people's nerves. Maybe a couple thoughts I threw out, might have gotten taken into account and made their way into the call. But for me, it was all the parts of feeling a little bit more normal, feeling like I was a part of it, feeling like I was back. And I love Robert. I mean, Robert has been great from day one when I came in there. I love the way he leads. He's an alpha. He really cares about the guys a lot. He sets the, kind of the vision every single week. He doesn't change, the standards don't change. The accountability doesn't change. Doesn't matter if he's talking to, the youngest guy in the team or myself, the oldest guy in the team. It's always, the standard is the standard. He holds guys accountable. He's a fantastic coach. And, I was kind of on the fence this last week, to be honest, because my rehab's been so great and I've really been coming along so incredibly well here on the West Coast. I was like, if I fly out, I'm going to miss a few days of rehab, and am I going to regret these couple days not getting the same type of work in? And I just kind of hit up Robert. I said, hey, what do you think? And he said, need you out here, buddy.
Oh, that's awesome. That had to feel good.
That was cool. That was cool. So it was good to be out there with the guys. Obviously, incredible game. Incredible performance by our defense, and then just enough plays on offense to make it work. But when you win the turnover battle by 4, you should win those games. And our defense came through offensively. We took care of the football. We weren't great in the red zone, but Greg came through with some big clutch kicks, and then Tony Adams with the pick in the 4th was that 2 minutes left was incredible, and it's a good feeling. That locker room was one of the most fun scenes that I've been a part of after a win. Just seeing the guys and the excitement. We made like a little tunnel, a little congratulatory tunnel for guys coming off the field, and it was pretty awesome to see the smiles. And Woody was, he was threatening a couple days of work this week for the guys. It's our bye week, and for me, especially under Mike, it wasn't even a question all those years. It was like, you come in Monday, you get a lift, and then you get the hell out of the building, and we'll see you the next week. And there were some rumors about coming into work till Wednesday. So luckily for the guys, Woody found some charity in his heart and allowed Salah to let him off yesterday. So it's going to be a nice long bye week for the boys to rest up and get ready for the game against the Giants next week.
Oh, God. The Johnson & Johnson owner, such a good guy.
Truly.
You know what I mean?
Changing the world.
Were you jumping in that tunnel? Were you jumping too? Because we saw you throw.
I wasn't jumping, but I bet you if he was a veterinarian, he might not have let guys out on Monday. So big shout out to the Johnson family.
Go ahead, AJ. If people are going to Google what that means, that was another pretty big.
It's good.
You're the man. Go ahead, AJ.
As far as wearing the headset and acting like you're a coach on the sidelines, is it tough not to give more input and to give you any kind of fire to think of, hey, eventually when I'm done playing football 5-10 years from now, maybe I'm going to coach and call some plays?
How'd you even get that out with a straight face?
What do you mean? I think you'd be a great coach.
Yeah, your headset looks super cool on you.
Yeah,
with that hat,
look.
too.
Yep.
With that hat.
I'm sure you'd be able to handle some young kid who can't make any of the throws that you can make. I'm sure you'd be great and have a lot of patience with that guy.
Just throw the ball. I can't.
Yeah, good sarcasm. Good sarcasm right there, H. Appreciate that. I do not plan on being a coach. No, there we go. Yeah. I was a little disappointed that we didn't have more hat options. I saw Big Mike last night. I thought their hat was pretty cool. They just had the star and it had some multicolors. I don't know. I enjoy being on the headset. Again, I'm not trying to feed too much. I can't talk directly to Zach. I can talk to the offensive staff and switch over to line 2, which is usually like some of the assistants and the line coaches. And every now and then, it's like your mom listening to your calls when you're in, junior high, trying to talk to a cute girl you're interested in. Just kind of listening in and then just throwing stuff in every now and then to kind of forget you're on there. But
who the hell
I have
is
fun with it.
that? Who is that? Who the hell just said that? It's Aaron.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I have fun with it. But no, I don't have any desire to be a coach in 5 to 10 years when I'm done playing H. But
yeah,
great question.
That coaching life is crazy. That coaching life is
It's
bananas.
the schedule. I mean, there's so much guarding your desk. I don't think I can handle that.
And it's like that's how it is too. Like you know what I mean?
You got to be the head coach. If you're the head coach, though, you control that, Aaron.
I don't think so. Because if you lose, as soon as you lose, it's like you got to guard your desk.
Well, we got a guy that Aaron does things his own way.
You're right. Look at his Achilles. Right. That's what you're talking about. This guy does stuff his own way. He actually defies science. This guy right here, right now. That's what they're saying about you. Shannon Sharp said this morning.
Science. If like we learned, if science is Dr. Fauci, you damn right I'm defying.
All right. Okay, that's on me.
Got him. You let him right into that.
You set yourself up for that.
Yeah, Fauci's just sitting at home, reminiscing about his terrible opening pitch, and he's like, "It's Tuesday again. Great. Everybody's going to be reminded. Everybody's going to be reminded." Last question about your time out there with the Jets beating the Eagles from Darius.
Yeah, we got to go back to that throw. As a DB, I'm always checking out the swag of other players, quarterbacks playing or not. Those Adidas shoes, are those specially made in big-ass shoes, and what do they do for the Achilles if they are specially made by Adidas?
Thanks, DB. Those were actually a size bigger than I usually wear, but I have these inserts in there to kind of offset my Achilles not sitting at 90 degrees just yet for the safety of the Achilles, so we're not stretching it, we're just stressing it. But it made it a little more comfortable having the 15s out there. The Ultra Boost, as they are there.
15? You have a size 14 foot normally? I felt like there was a little flex in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
That wasn't a flex. That was just a fact. But can I just answer the fucking question?
Well, gotta change it.
Change it.
Gotta change it.
Dude, sorry, we're not on YouTube here. My bad. Sorry, not sorry. But the Ultra Boost are not a flat bottom shoe. And so the flat bottom is just not as good for the walking. So it has a little bit of some curvature, and we know curvature is better for the walking. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been up.
Shout out to Adidas and to the Ultra Boost and to the number one of the day. All right.
Yeah. We're up to 4, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We're up to 5 days.
That's an all-time high.
That is our record thus far for how many shows we've made it without it. But to be clear, completely necessary in that situation.
Yes.
But follow up, had no idea you were a size 14. This guy, massive hands.
I think there was some other F words in there we could have bleeped as well. Might have been names. But,
All right. Ty has a question for you, Aaron.
Aaron, when you're looking around the league, again, with you being there, I don't know how much you saw from yesterday, but are you surprised with your Cal brethren, Jared Goff's kind of career resurgence here in Detroit after he kind of got cast out for dead when he left L.A.? And also, have you come around yet? Or, is it weird when you hear people saying that the Lions are one of the best teams in the NFL?
First of all, hello, Ty. How you doing, buddy? Are you excited about the big 15-6 barn burner that happened this weekend?
Hell yeah, brother. We'll see you in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to make it, but...
They will. They will.
Shout out to huge, entertaining win.
Old school football.
Right.
Old school football over there in Iowa. Big Ten West. Love it.
I think, to answer your question first, I really like Jared. I've been friends with him for a long time. Obviously, pull for him because he's a Cal guy. And, I think there was some semblance when he was traded, he's going to go just kind of disappear in Detroit, where some careers have gone to die over the years. But as we've seen, this is not the same Detroit Lions team. It's also, let's just take a beat for the entire league. Now that there's no more undefeateds, and only I think one team that doesn't have a win yet, right? We're still just 6 games in. Not everybody's even played 6. There's some teams with some buys, so it's 5 and 6 games in the season. So let's just take a nice little pause. I know it's overreaction Monday, yesterday, and today we got to make all the prognostications for the week. But we're still 6 games in. A lot can happen. Teams, there's injuries, there's hot streaks, there's cold streaks, there's a lot of things that happen between now and week 18. So, but I will say, I'm a big fan of Jared's. Really love watching him play. He's playing really well. They have one loss to Seattle, I believe, and then they also beat Kansas City, who only has 1 loss. So there'll be some measuring stick games coming up, I think, in the league in the next couple of weeks. I believe that Miami plays Kansas City, is that right?
Philly. Sunday Night Football.
Miami plays Philly. Yeah, Miami plays Philly, which will be a great one because both teams playing really well. I'm sure there's a couple other good ones set for this weekend. I wasn't obviously watching a whole lot because we were playing, and I missed out on all my usual, Red Zone channel, watching Scott try and find a way to piss off camera. But yeah, we're 6 games in, so we're 3-3. We're excited as hell on a 2-game win streak, and now we got a chance to sit back, get healthy, and then we'll see what happens.
Have you seen a lot of Dan Campbell? Have you seen this guy? He pulled out, he had props this last week. This last weekend, he had props. He went into his back pocket. He said, "What's that, man?" And he's Abraham Lincoln, man. Freed the slaves, man.
That's right, man.
Got shot in the head at the theater, man.
Yep.
Also 5.
Yep.
And then he put in his other hand. He goes, "What's that? 5, man. We've won 5 now." And he's like, here it is. Look, what I got in my back pocket, man. That's Abraham Lincoln, bro. Oh, it's 5. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Wait, let me go to my pocket. He does another one. Boom, bang. That's 5, man. That's how many we got now. He seems like a guy that everybody would want to play for. And I know you just sang the praises of Coach Saleh, and I think we all appreciate the hell out of him. But the more you see or learn of MCDC, what are your thoughts on Dan Campbell, and why do you think he's been able to have the success that he's had in Detroit thus far?
Yeah, I have some mixed thoughts over the years.
Whoa!
He followed one of my all-time favorite coaches in Miami, Joe Philbin. And, there were some things said during that time which I felt like were not maybe the classiest stuff in reference to Joe and how he led. That, we saw some of the same stuff from the guy in Denver about one of my all-time favorite coaches who's with us now. I think there's a way of following, coaches where you don't have to slam the previous guy in order to make yourself feel better. That being said, as opposed to our society, I do believe in most people in our society. I do believe in second and third chances, and people can learn from the mistakes they made. And just because somebody said something 10 years ago doesn't mean you got to cancel them for the rest of their life. And I will say, I had certain feelings about Dan based on some of those comments, but I've definitely been won over the more that I see him talk. And I think that with any great leader, you grow and you evolve and you adapt and you learn about yourself and you become a better leader if you're authentic and you listen. And I think he's done a good job with that. So I'm actually a fan. Wasn't maybe in the beginning. But I'm a fan. I like I think with any player would tell you the thing that they appreciate most from coaches is just being real. Just being authentically yourself is something that you can relate to. Not trying too hard, not too many cliches and stuff. Just being yourself. And I think if anybody in the league is themselves more than MCDC, I'd like to see it because he just seems like he kind of says what's on his mind and is who he is and doesn't make apologies. So yeah, I've come around on him. I think he'd be a lot of fun to play for.
He's also,
properly
so jocked. He is so jocked. I mean, Vrabes.
Is he more jocked than Saleh though? Because Saleh's pretty jocked.
See, Salah's talking about golf. I don't know if MCDC's bringing up golf ever. I'm just worried about maybe mentality at this stage of life. Because I think MCDC, you drop him into like a gladiator pit, still ready to fight. You know what I mean? Still ready to do it. Vrabes, I think, you drop in there. Sure. Vrabes would be able to. Coach Salah, he's worried about his golf game.
Vrabes would be huffing a little bit because all the, the sticks. Yeah. But who else would you put into the Thunderdome? Would you put, you got MCDC and Salah. Who else?
Right, Tomlin.
Kind of hold their own.
Tomlin, I guess. Tomlin, you put in there. I mean, Shane Steichen.
Gannon, obviously.
Andy Reid.
Yeah, Big Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick.
Mike, no question.
Yeah, I mean.
Can't put Belichick in.
What
do you mean?
What are you talking about?
You son of a bitch.
General, you're not.
D'Amico.
D'Amico Ryans. Put D'Amico in there for sure.
Mike McDaniel, he can scrap probably a little bit too.
Oh, Coach McDaniel will figure out a way to be the entertainment in there.
Yeah. McDermott. I mean.
Yeah, McDermott.
Sure. He's a wrestler shooting for takedowns.
Frank Reich.
Artie's the son of
Frank Reich. We don't know.
He could kill you with Bible
Artie
verses.
Smith?
You have no idea.
Artie Smith, his dad is a Marine.
Yeah.
So maybe might get you, but I think Vrabes and MCDC are the two. D'Amico, though, needs to be respected a little bit more in that conversation.
Ron Rivera, if he knows he's in a fight.
Good luck.
Ron Rivera will have no idea he's in there.
Good luck getting your arms around Dayball.
Yeah, I mean, Dayball's got that truck mentality, which I appreciate.
Kevin O'Connell's huge.
Yeah, he's
Hold on.
former quarterback.
He is.
Big
He's
son of a
bigger than
bitch.
everybody.
Yeah. Oh, Doug Pederson.
Front row, far right. We know the winner.
Hey, if you're going to throw in assistant coaches, though, I know he's gone through some injury stuff and he's recovering. But James Campen, former wrestler, and
didn't you call him? Was that the fat ass you were talking to at Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, I didn't know. You and his relationship was very evident that you're very tight. And then AJ told us a little bit of story about the weight where he had to be, and the goal and the bed and everything like that. And you inspired. They're the team that has no wins. I couldn't even imagine what life is like down there right now. You know what I mean? Like in those situations. Have you ever been a part of that? No, you've never been a part of it where they're talking about firing the coach middle of the season ever. Have you?
No, I think it's what did you expect? Like there was going to be some growing pains for sure. But I think they have a quarterback for the future. They definitely have a pass rusher of the future, but they're a young team. They're a really young team. There's going to be some growing pains for all those guys. I mean, maybe not Stroud. I mean, he said some pretty smooth sailing so far, but there's always going to be growing pains in the first year. And this is a real knee-jerk reaction league and media and fan base, though. So I hope that staff sticks around because I think it's a really well put together staff on both sides of the ball. And I hope they just have some patience because I think they got some pieces, but they obviously need a few more pieces in order to compete and be relevant.
I don't think that owner has ever been patient in his life, but maybe in this particular case he will be because he's seen what massive moves have happened. The NFL is interesting this year. Aaron, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, 25 teams scored 21 or fewer points on Sunday. 2 teams were on a bye. Simple math, only 5 teams scored over 21 points this week in the NFL. I think it's a 10-year low as far as scoring and red zone scoring. Any idea why?
That's great numbers there, Tone, by the way.
Good stats.
That's all I know.
Good stats, Tone. Baby Tony stats. Hashtag stat that.
My own opinions.
You know what? I think there's been some bad situational ball for sure. I think if you look at some of those stats, red zone percentage and third down percentage, I'd be interested to see where they rank as opposed to years past. Defenses too, always going to evolve and adapt. And, some of the combination of defense evolving, the way the game is refereed as well, can sometimes have an impact on that. Some years they emphasize more things than others. Some years it's more offensive-minded, some years more defensive-minded. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a clear-cut answer. I think that there's just, maybe some bad situational ball going on. The defenses are good, but that number seems pretty low to me.
Yeah, so last year 20 was the most per weekend or whatever, and then they averaged 15.2. It's like it seems like the defenses are playing better ball. It just feels like that. Now, you're not in the games right now, but you're watching them. That's you don't think that's okay? You think it's offense is kind of just playing worse football as opposed to defense is playing better ball?
I would say I would always lean on it being the offense not playing great ball than defense, just because I think great offense can beat great defense. But there are some pretty incredible defensive players going right now, and guys like Khalil Mack, who's had an incredible start to the season, and they went up against Micah Parsons, one of the best or top 3 players on defense in the league. And that was low scoring. I was 20-17, so that fit the category of both those guys. But if you look back at that game and look at some of the moments, there's always 2 or 3 plays that keep you from scoring another 7 or 10 points. Look at our game. We easily could have scored 30 plus points with execution in the red zone, and also we had some plays that kicked us out of range of points. We had a great drew him off sides. Zach kind of scrambles around a little bit, hits Garrett. Garrett breaks tackle, runs down the sideline. Allen, drills a guy, gets a 15-yard penalty. We go from 1st and 10, I think, on the inside the 15 to 2nd and 20 something, 2nd and 25 from the 50. So we end up not scoring any points on that drive. There goes 3. We finished with 20. That gets us 23. Then we're back. There's only 21 teams under that line now. So then their tone is a little bit different.
Okay, love that. Let's add some context to this thing. If you think about last night, Dak missed 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. There's one early and then one late. Herbert, I think, missed a couple to Keenan Allen.
Oh, yeah. The one to Pollard. Yeah, the one to Pollard late, right? I mean, it's the same play they ran against
Minnesota.
Against Minnesota. Against Minnesota, what was it? Who said that?
D-Butt.
Last year.
Yeah, against Minnesota last year. And he hit it for, I think, a 70-yard touchdown or something. So when they blew Minnesota out like 44 to something.
Yep.
I remember watching that play. Had it again. Yeah, Dak probably hits that 9 out of 10 times, right? He just put a little bit too much air on it, just missed slightly outside, and that's 4 points there. So
yeah,
that's the way I go.
It is interesting to look back on all the could-have-beens on all these games. I don't think we've done that enough. But you look at the top of that thing, the worst in the league, the Giants. That thing before half. In the NFL, buddy. Can't happen. Can't happen in the professional football league. You know what I mean?
I understand. I feel like the last play, obviously, there was potential for a penalty on Johnson, but I don't personally like going under center there in either of those plays. We're in the 1-yard line both times, especially not in the first half. And I understand what was going on. They probably had a pass to run check, and he checked to the run. I don't know if that was the right check or not, or was it supposed to be weak rotation, strong rotation, or whatever it might be. But I like going to the gun there and giving Tyrod a chance to have 3 throws to get in the end zone. If you don't get it, then you kick a field goal, and then you're up 9-0. It's a different game, 9-0 half than 6-0 for sure. And then end of the game, I get you want to kind of fake the duo again with Waller leaking out, but Waller was in a 2-point stance before the snap. It wasn't like a total run look, and I don't know. I mean, they still obviously had a chance, and it could have been penalty called. But then what are you going to do back again on the 1-yard line and go back under center? Like, I don't know.
That's why you should be a coach. You're going to be a coach. You hear it, AJ.
Use your talent. Tyrod's an athletic guy. Get him on the edge, or give him a chance to look at it and scramble around and move him. Or if they bring zero pressure, give him a chance to throw it up to 12. But not when he's in a 2-point stance when you're in 21 personnel and it's, you're probably not going to run duo there against zero pressure.
There seems to be a lot of that going on around the league right now. Got a lot of weeks left, though. 12 weeks left in the season. It'll all get figured out. The offenses will get going again. Yeah, they'll get going again. Go ahead, AJ.
When you're scrambling, or say any quarterback in the NFL is running around scrambling, we know there's a lot of protection on you. Let's say you're down the field. Are you ever baiting defensive players into head-to-head collisions? It seems like it happens a lot where you're running, boom, at the last second I slide, the guys go flying over top you, and you hope you clips your helmet or something, boom, 15 yards, here we go, first down. Is that something that happens?
You do this one. Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah. It's a good play if you do.
And I know you were a master at baiting some of those calls, but I never got into a whole lot of that. I usually took those shots and understood outside the pocket. What was surprising was I saw 2 or 3 plays where the guy was outside the pocket, and usually when you're outside the pocket, you lose that kind of one-step protection. And I thought there were a couple calls, and definitely one in the Sunday night game that didn't seem like roughing the passer.
Oh, yeah.
But I like that quarterbacks are protected. I think it's important. It makes it real hard for defensive guys, though. How do you tackle a quarterback in the pocket? It's definitely made it more difficult. But, I think one thing they really got to look at, and there's a lot of kind of whining I see at times.
Ooh.
Yes.
But quarterbacks, I'm all for the sliding. But guys who slide late and are getting hit, I think that's one thing they really got to look into. Because it's tough for a defensive player already to make a play. There was one in the Dallas game where that was a total helmet to helmet, and shouldn't have gone in there with his helmet, but just guys getting kind of touched or hugged as they slide late, it shouldn't be a penalty. If there's forcible contact to the head or neck or some sort of spearing act, I get it. But if you're going to slide late, you have to know you're going to get some sort of contact. As guys coming in and take your head off, then you change levels right at the last second. Maybe slide a little bit earlier.
I think intent should be taken into account a lot more, but then you're asking refs not to be robots, and then in the biggest moments, are they going to be able to make the decision in real time? I don't know how you get it all right, but I do appreciate the fact that you're saying, hey, some of these quarterbacks are kind of calling it upon themselves to get their heads taken off, because you're oldest guy in the league. Is that right? You were the oldest guy in the league?
Yeah, but I'm not doing any scrambling right now, so...
Yeah, well, that's what we're waiting on, though. We thought there was a chance. It looked like
Look, I think the quarterback's got to be protected for sure, but at the same time, slide a little bit earlier. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, I think so. Or do the Kenny Pickett fake slide from whenever he was at Pitt.
That's right.
That was awesome.
Sweet. Yep.
That was so cool.
Change the game.
They had to change the rules, and defenders were so mad. They're like, all right, I'm going to try to take his head off next time it happens. It's like, whoa. Let's slow down here.
You almost had number 2 of the day there.
Yeah.
You held back.
Yeah, thank you.
Good.
I'm very mature.
Wait for 2 more hours. Yeah, 2 more hours.
Yeah, nobody's talking about how mature I am. I could have dropped a very hard F right there because that's literally what they were thinking. But I'm an adult. I'm a professional. Speaking of, Connor has a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, definitely not an adult or a professional. But, Aaron, this year's Zach Wilson, it doesn't look like the Zach Wilson we've seen the last few years. I think everybody who watches football knows that. What do you think about his progression, and are you still talking to him and watching film every week to kind of give him more tips? Because it does feel like out of nowhere here, or not out of nowhere because you're there, he has kind of cemented himself as that guy who can get the ball passed down to him from you once you come back.
Well, I think one thing's important is that I really don't deserve a ton of credit for his progression. I think it's been his own work ethic, his desire to improve in all areas of his life. I think, it doesn't hurt to have kind of an example of an older guy who's had some success and seeing kind of how I go about my business. I'm sure there's been some stuff that's rubbed off on him, but he deserves a lot of credit. I mean, he deserves a lot of credit for the way he's handled himself, for his maturity, for his focusing on the fundamentals and getting better. And I'm very, very, very proud of Zach and proud of the progression I've seen on and off the field. And off the field is often as important or more important than the on the field stuff, because you got to learn how to be a leader and relate to your teammates and inspire your teammates and handle the difficult media. And I think he's done a lot of really, really good things. And I love being around him and love pulling for him and sending little messages every week. And just really happy for him.
What are the messages? You record yourself, voice memo? Are they just text? What are the messages?
Yeah, I think I make it real dramatic. I'll dress up in a famous movie character outfit and give him some inspiring speech. So.
Nice.
So you deserve a lot of credit for his development. Yeah. You're talking about no credit. It's like this guy's committed. He's putting on Leonidas. Jack Sparrow and Leonidas.
Thespian.
You're a real thespian for this kid.
Yeah, last week I really I channeled my inner Under Siege.
Oh, hell yeah.
Went into a really good headspace of Steven Seagal as the undercover, killing machine disguised as a chef and did a combination interpretive dance, inspirational speech as Steven Seagal combined with the dance moves of Britney Spears.
Nice.
And I felt like the message kind of
current Britney Spears or old school Britney Spears?
Big difference.
Current.
The recent.
So your cheeks were out. Your cheeks were out with the thing.
I was more in a traditional Steven Seagal gi, but just kind of tried to channel some of the dance moves I saw from Britney.
Yeah, she's crushing it. Anytime you see a Britney Spears video, it's always captioned and titled as if everything's going well.
She's divorced. You should shoot your shot. There's a big thing having high celebrity, high profile relationships.
Oh yeah, and Travis did it on the New Heights pod.
Yeah,
remember?
You can do it here.
The floor is yours.
Listen, I'm really focused on my rehab right now. I don't think I can do two things.
Okay.
So.
Come on.
Okay.
She might help.
It's not a no.
He loves ball. He loves ball.
The guy loves rehab, loves ball.
That's right.
24/7. It feels like what you said there about Steven.
Right now.
Yeah, we understand. Fully focused. Feels like what you just said there about Steven Seagal was said in a similar fashion of whenever you're talking about dolphins fornicating with each other and you hovering your Achilles over top of it. Have you tried that yet? And is that a part of this whole thing?
I haven't quite tried it yet.
I'm so sick.
I haven't seen a lot of dolphins, and I'm not really allowed on the beach yet because the sand can create some different angles for your Achilles. So I'm looking forward to getting back in the water, and we're working on this specific type of underwater sound system that's supposed to call the dolphins in.
Nice.
With some sort of
there we go.
Mating ritual cadence that it's a newer device. It's kind of in the beta stage, and I'm more of an alpha guy. So
yeah, heard that about Coach.
If we can get that thing working properly, then I'll probably have a good answer for you in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Need that to get to the alpha stage.
Yep.
Not even messing around with the beta stage.
Yeah,
Can't have it. Need the alpha. We appreciate the hell out of you. Enjoy rehab. What's the rest of the day look like? We're just full board getting this Achilles back so we can play this season.
Yeah, we started rehab a little bit late, so I got some shit from JK when I walked in a little later than usual. But that's because we have something going on the back end of this. But it'll be rehab for the next few hours, and then head home and do a little more rehab, maybe work on my tan a little bit, and then a little more rehab. And then, I don't know, just probably we got some baseball to watch tonight. I can actually watch baseball again. We got some World Series or something.
Yeah, the Phillies aren't playing until tomorrow, I don't think. Are they playing tonight?
Phillies just won, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Your buddy Miles Teller, big Phillies fan. Shout out to Miles.
Shout out to Miles. Bro, the first time I watched the Phillies this offseason, Miles was a part of that game, just like that super fan was last night. Did you see that lady? Did you see the Chargers lady?
I didn't. I didn't see a lot of the game. I saw some of the highlights, but I saw when you were introing her. Yeah, she looked like could have been a plant for sure.
No,
Thank you, robot.
We cannot be this negative. I would like to let everybody know. We'll find out. This lady's joining us at 3 p.m. Eastern today.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
That's real.
Oh, yeah.
This lady is joining us. Okay, want to let you know the star of the show, a lady who's still
really?
Yes, 3 o'clock today. First interview.
Holy hell.
That's
I'm gonna be watching for sure.
All
That's the best part about rehab. I get to watch the show. So shout out to you guys for putting on a show every single day. Shout out to free speech too. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Still alive and well in some places.
Amen.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
America.
That's right.
Hell yeah, dude. You can't say that.
Someone squeezed one in.
I don't think I confirmed the word.
I think you said like RG3 said.
No, because I didn't make it past the U.
Anyways, we appreciate the hell out of you. Keep crushing it. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Size 14 shoe.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Double XL glove.
That's my takeaway.
I don't know what you're saying. We know what we're thinking. Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Proud of you, buddy.
Aaron.
Big feet.
Yeah.
Big hands. Jesus. You knew he's size 14? I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. You saw those Adidas 15s with the 7-inch heel he had on there?
Yeah,
He goes late. Darius, everybody has dry erase board. Like, yo, want to ask this in the middle of the thing? And he puts up big ass shoes. And I was like, yeah,
Nice.
Need to talk about that for sure. Thanks, Aaron, for his time, obviously, and everything he's done for this program over the last 4 years. It was talked about mightily, but all the people that talked about it have zero business sense and also, I think, zero morals. So that is an interesting little debate that is taking place. All I know is I'm very grateful that we've gotten a chance to chat with him, and he seems like he's in great spirits. This dude's making it back this season, AJ. Ain't that right?
It sure feels that way, doesn't it?
It does. It does. That story would be absurd, but that's the NFL, baby. We'll continue to chit-chat about more on YouTube. Max Crosby will join us, and Chargers fan lady from last night, and the mayor, Sean Casey, joins us. It's about to be a loaded third hour. SportsCenter will continue here on ESPN. We can't thank you enough for joining us. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Goodbye. Yeah, for real, we got that lady.
Let's go. And the mayor?
We got the mayor, Sean Casey, coming in about 10 minutes. Obviously, he was the Yankees hitting coach this past season.
Yep.
I have no...
He turned it around.
Half the year.
Do we know where he is?
No, he didn't turn it around, Tony. All right.
Friend of the program.
He can only do so much.
I love the mayor.
He
I
couldn't
love the
pick
mayor.
up the bat
He
himself.
can't hit for them.
Yeah, exactly, AJ.
Well, no shit. We didn't need him to hit for us. We needed him to
we
teach
could've
guys
used
how
him.
to hit, and he couldn't do that. They zapped all of the mojo out of the mayor when they made him shave his fucking goatee.
That's your fault. That's the Yankees' fault.
That is not my fault.
It's the Yankees' fault.
Guess who doesn't have a problem with it?
Who?
Aaron Judge, okay?
He's the only one.
He doesn't have a fucking problem with it, so the mayor shouldn't have a fucking problem with it.
He didn't have a problem. He just shaved it.
If you can't coach without your fucking goatee, then maybe you shouldn't be coaching.
If the mayor can't get these boys to hit, these boys just can't hit.
To be clear, he is no longer coaching for the Yankees. I guess that has been official.
Yeah.
And
Shocker.
What is your problem?
Who'd he coach for before? I thought this was his first gig.
No, yeah, he got hired because him and Booney are buddies, okay?
It's the Yankees.
Oh, my
It's the Yankees'
God.
fault, not the
You're
mayor.
a pig right now.
I love the mayor. I
Yankees
didn't want to
killed
see
Vine.
this happen to him because I knew what was going to happen. He's going to go in there, and then I'm going to have unrealistic expectations for him, which I did. The Yankees shit the bed once he got there, so I got to hold the mayor accountable.
They shit the bed long before he got
I
there.
know.
That's why he got hired, because the bed was already shat, pal. It was like Amber Heard.
Well, yeah,
Bingo.
well said.
And what was the dog?
That doesn't mean
He said
I'm
it was
just
a
going
dog.
to give
Allegedly.
the
Sorry,
mayor a
Amber.
pass. I'm not just going to give the mayor. I understand we're friends. We're buddies with the guy. It's not just going to be, hey, go do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, we're trying to win baseball games here, Sean. Okay? Get back in the fucking mayor's office.
While we're mad,
I think he is back in the mayor's office. He'll be joining us at 2:05 from said office.
Yeah, I love the mayor.
Then Max we'll find out.
Yeah, okay.
You got a lot to say to him.
Okay.
I can't wait for that. Then we have Max Crosby joining us, the Condor, obviously, a man who had a game-winning safety sack this past weekend against the Patriots, where Mac Jones had zero chance because he's so fast off the ball, and he does it every single week. He is a motor that never ends. Can't wait to chat with him at 2:30. And then, Chargers lady from last night joining us 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't want to say we already got a graphic, but we fucking do. Okay.
Wow.
Marianne Dew.
Look up her
Doe?
IMDb.
Do.
Marianne Dew.
Ooh, I'm going Doe.
Marianne Dew.
I'm going to do.
Go Marianne.
Definitely not Marianne Don't, because she was doing it all night, baby.
You're damn right. You are damn right. Can't wait to chat with her in 1 hour. We are going to put to bed all the negative bullshit that you've been spewing, and Aaron's first take was, seems like a plant. It's not a plant.
No.
Marianne Dew does it every single game for the Chargers, and we will get a chance to chat with her.
I just said that. I didn't say she was a plant. I just said she had a gambling addiction, which we can ask her about if we're getting rid of negative stuff. I don't like that Aaron used Rooster's government name on this program. It's Rooster when you're talking to us, okay?
You're right. Just like it's Hangman, even though we're told we're not allowed to do that because there's a strike still going on and we're promoting a movie. Anyways, let's get to a break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. We'll be back in about 5 with a loaded third hour. Let's
go. Hell yeah.
It's about to be big. Sean Casey, former hitting coach for the New York Yankees. Max Crosby, current game record for the Raiders. And a phenomenal Marianne Dew from the Los Angeles Chargers will join us. We'll see you then. Take 5.
Fight.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court. I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think if players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Lou Holtz.
Yeah, Coach. Hey, thank you very much for having me back, Pat. First and foremost, listen, I don't know what the fuck happened, okay? I'm there at the start of the game. I'm with a lot of my former players, a lot of sweet boys who wanted to see Coach Lou. I wanted to see them as well. I watched the first half. Notre Dame, they played pretty well. I mean, they hung in. And then I did what I always do. I flipped the channel over, I watched a little bit of Matlock, and I went to bed. That's what I do every single night. It's kind of my routine. I love that Andy Griffith, but that's beside the point. I wake up on Saturday morning, and I see Ryan Day taking fucking shots at good old sweet Coach Lou. It's bullshit. I mean, you go back, watch the game. Was I wrong? What did I say? I say they get out physical, and I said they get beat by Alabama and Georgia and Michigan twice. And Ryan Day's acting like some goddamn world beater. It took him the entire fucking game, 5 seconds left, to beat Notre Dame, okay? And they did it with Notre Dame. Had 10 guys on the field, 2 fucking plays in a row. Okay, so he can take his victory dance and, I wonder where Coach Lou Holtz is. Hey, listen, Ryan, I might not always know where I'm at, but guess what? People do know where I'm at all times. I ain't fucking hard to find, pal. So if you want to come talk your shit and say anything and sit down with me, you come find me, okay? I'll be standing here right on Library Lawn in front of Touchdown Jesus. We can talk about things, but don't act like I'm some dipshit. Okay, like I'm some moron. Listen, I know Coach Lou's old, okay, but guess what? Coach Lou can still read, okay? I was on Twitter the following morning, and guess what? Ohio State fans were talking that sweet shit all night long, saying, hey, this Ryan Day's a big dumb dipshit. This guy doesn't know how to call a football game, okay? They were ready to fire your ass 30 minutes into that fucking game, okay? You're lucky you won, son. You're lucky you won. And at the end of the day, Pat, AJ, all you guys know, if he doesn't beat Michigan, it doesn't fucking matter. Ohio State fans expect them to beat Notre Dame, okay? It's a much bigger game for Notre Dame than it was for Ohio State. But I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm 86 years old. You want to pick a fucking fight with me? I was sleeping, for Christ's sake. Just let me be, okay? But if you want beef, come find me, okay? Because I got beef all night long like Fogo de Chao. All you can eat, Ryan.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Anything else, Coach?
Thanks, yeah, Notre Dame's fine. They're going to be just fine, okay? Sam Hartman still, I don't think his jersey, it wasn't that dirty. I said that was going to happen. You look back at it.
Field turf.
Basically, shut your fucking mouth, AJ. Show a little respect, will you? Okay? Basically, everything I said came true. So, yeah, Coach Lou may be getting low, but I think he still knows a thing or two about football. Go Irish, and Ryan, like I said, hey, you want to throw hands, buddy, come find me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Love you, Coach.
What are you going to do to change and make Tua better? Have you gotten into that? This is very early in the whole process, and you're shaking hands, kissing babies right now, and you're a 0-win head coach that everybody loves.
0 wins.
0 win. But what are you thinking about that for Tua? How do you make him better?
We're going to start with scoring more points than the opponent.
Wow!
Holy shit.
Oh, no.
You are changing the game.
Changing the game.
Yeah.
Through math.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think I was just so fortunate in my career to be around the process of how I look at things with the empowerment of the right teachers, that I look backwards, forwards, okay? What things do I see that are really awesome about his game on tape, even though we're at...
He's accurate as heck.
Boom! That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just, you were leading me. That's how, you should do this, maybe.
Dude,
think about it in the future.
Dude.
But he's so accurate.
Or we should just spend the time finishing each other's...
sentences.
Oh, okay.
Hey, have we known each other for...
our whole lives?
Oh, my God.
You tell...
Me?
Wow.
This is weird.
Dude.
Whoa,
Seems like you guys just became.
Dude.
Wow, this is fucking weird, AJ.
Bro.
Hey, this is...
Did we swap skins?
Wow, we learned a lot about yours, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
What? Let's go.
This show sticks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Hour 3 of this program starts now. Football! That's AJ Hawk. That man's a champion both at the college level and the professional level of the sport that was just screamed into a microphone by all the boys. Speaking of the boys, the Talk to Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, and 9-year NFL vet, host of Everything DB, which will take place later today. Darius J. Butler is here. Now, football is a big-time conversation for us because obviously it's a lot of football people in here. Mm-hmm. But what's happening right now in the postseason of the MLB is electrifying. Speaking of electrifying in baseball, you only talk to one man. Ladies and gentlemen, MLB Network analyst, host of the Mayor's Office, friend of the program, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Casey.
Yes. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Coach, listen. I am so incredibly pumped that you are back on our show. I'm pumped that baseball is doing its thing. But before we dive into this convo, lifelong Yankee fan Ty Schmidt needs to say something to you directly that he just said before you got on here. Ty, please, the floor is yours. And remember, We all love Sean Casey.
Oh, yeah.
So watch your tone when you're talking to this Yinzer. Okay, please.
No, absolutely. The mayor knows I love him. I do. Case, I just want to know, do you believe that you were set up for failure when the Yankees decided to hire you as hitting coach? Did all of your powers get zapped away when you had to shave the goatee and just grow the sweet mustache? It was a sweet mustache, but I just, I want answers, Case. I don't think it's fair that you're ending up being the fall guy, but that's what I got to do because your buddy Booney's not gone yet. What the hell happened in New York this year, Mayor?
Well, first of all, brother, I did have to shave the goatee that I've had for 25 years. So that was a little weird. I tried to go with the Madeline mustache, and that didn't feel right. So then I just shaved it all off. Got back to like me my rookie year in baseball. But I'll tell you what, the experience was incredible being there in New York with these guys, being able to be with guys like Aaron Judge and Volpe and these guys every day, that whole lineup top to bottom, G. Stanton, DJ. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, the Yankees not making the postseason is never good there in New York. Obviously, that being a lifelong Yankee fan. But I think it was a lot of different things happened this year, a lot of different health issues with the pitching staff and up and down that lineup. And Judgy going out a couple months didn't help us. But overall, they'll be the Yankees will be back in 2024, back in their postseason ways, and there's no doubt they're going to make some signings this offseason and get better.
Was that your first time coaching, and what was it like? Did you love it, hate it? What was the experience?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. It's funny because when Booney had called me, he said, come on in the second half and get going. And then, how it goes in this industry. They're like, when are you starting? In 3 days from now, we need you in Colorado to get going. So, it was a quick entrance into it. But Pat, I loved it, man. It was incredible with the hitters meetings in front of the guys every day. Trying to motivate and get guys out there. And I think the one thing about coaching that's different than playing is when you're playing, it's you. You got to get yourself ready. I think when you're coaching, you're so invested in the guys that are in that lineup every day, and you want them to do so well. And I think that was the big difference. But I loved it. It was an incredible experience.
Well, I want to let you know, we appreciate the fact that you've stayed with the baby face because you look young. Look at that jawline.
Unbelievable.
Look at that jawline. I thought maybe you lost your power when you had to shave. I don't think that's the case at all. You're right back where you need to be, covering and talking about the sport. We're thankful for that. The sport right now seems to be on fire. Last night, we watched the Phillies in Philadelphia put on a first inning explosion that just continued all the way through. Leadoff homer. First pitch, Schwarbo says, see ya. 2 batters later, Bryce Harper, friend of the program, first pitch fastball, see ya. Then Castellanos in the second inning, see ya. And then that environment over there with that production on the diamond is perfect for baseball. Is this what we're going to see for the rest of the way from that team? And who else should we be thinking about making a run here, Coach?
I think and playing at the bank there in Philly, you kidding me? Those fans are the best. And when Schwarber comes out and hits that bomb, right out the gates, 117 miles an hour off the scoreboard to get the party started. And then Harper comes up, I think right now Bryce Harper's must-see TV. If you're a baseball fan and you're watching this postseason, tuning into that Phillies lineup top to bottom, but Harper's doing some special things. But all the way up and down that lineup with Trey Turner and Realmuto, what Castellanos is, home runs that he's hitting. It seems like he's hitting 1 or 2 every game right now. Wheeler coming out with that staff. I think that series is going to be a good one, though. Don't count the Diamondbacks out. That's a good team. Corbin Carroll with Tommy Pham, with Marte, that pitching staff with Merrill Kelly coming back tonight going against Nola. I think that's going to be a good series. But the Phillies offense for me is must-see TV. Just the way they're going about things. Been pretty awesome so far.
Yeah, that fan base deserves all the credit because watching it, you want to be there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happens with baseball a lot. So shout out to them. Go ahead, AJ.
When you watch Sean, when you watch Bryce Harper hit, and you watch him at the plate, what does he do that separates him from so many people? Obviously, he steps up huge in big moments. We know that mentally, like what he has, his competitive passion, desire, whatever it is. But what does he do technically, I think, that you could tell like casual fans, like, hey, this is unheard of, but a lot of people can't do this.
Oh man, AJ, great question, dude. I mean, the bottom line is when you watch Bryce Harper, watch his at bats, how he controls the strike zone. I mean, he's so good at, to be an elite player in this league, you have to be able to hunt a zone and stay on it. These guys that are on the mound, they can make that ball dance within the last 3 to 5 feet. That doesn't happen in the minors or anywhere else. I mean, they're the 1%ers. Well, as a hitter, you have to control that last 3 to 5 feet too, and the elite guys do. Watch Bryce Harper's at bat. He's taking pitches that are just off the plate, just off the edges. He's controlling the zone out where he wants the ball, and when he gets it, he doesn't miss it. And another thing with Bryce Harper, he has electric hands, which is so good. But watch his back leg when he goes to hit. His back knee almost gets down to the ground, so he has so much drive and force with his legs, and that's why it's so impressive to watch him. But I think his overall process of how he controls the zone is elite, and that's why he's an elite player.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. It feels like whenever he's standing in there, now granted, he's a lefty, I'm a righty. I have learned that since the last time we have talked. I am officially a righty in the batter's box. Feels like he just sees that thing and then bang, hits that thing. And it's as easy as that, isn't it? It's as easy as that.
Simple sport.
See ball, hit ball.
Boom.
And everybody thinks he's hitting dingers. He hit a double last night, drove in a friend, and then they ended up with the bases loaded, and then obviously old Cuz hits into a double play, and it's all over, leaving ducks on a pond. But watching that team has made me a baseball fan, Mayor. It has made me a baseball fan. They're electrifying. I've heard the Rangers also, same thing. We should keep an eye on them. They're also a great baseball team, hitting the ball well.
Well, I think the biggest thing, the greatest thing about baseball is at the end of the day, we love to see the hitting. I mean, that's why we love it. As players, when we played when we were younger, we couldn't wait to sprint it off the field and get ready to hit. These guys feel the same way in the big leagues. When you look at the Rangers, top to bottom, man, Chris Young, their GM, did a great job putting this team together with Marcus Semien at the top. They gave Corey Seager big money. He's in the MVP talks along with, right there with Ohtani. Josh Young's the rookie. Evan Carter's this kid, they called him September, and really has, elevated them to another level. So top to bottom in that lineup, just like the Phillies, they're loaded. And so are the Astros. I mean, you can't count them out. They're down 2-0. They're going to the Rangers for Game 3. But when you're talking Yordan Alvarez and Bregman and Altuve and Brantley, I mean, there's just a ton of firepower that's going on in both these series. So if you're a baseball fan, or if you're not, and I know, Pat, you guys are becoming baseball fans, watching these guys, having Harper on your show. He comes at you with some great stuff. You guys are fine. All of us need to tune into these playoffs, these next couple weeks here and really dive into what baseball's doing.
I agree. Lord Goodwood.
Jeez. That easy. That easy.
Baseball's great. That's what happens when you watch the Phillies.
It's like the mayor's trading you.
That's all. Thank you, hitting coach. He's just lifting my vibes automatically. Tone has a question for you, Mayor.
Mayor, all these great crowds that we've seen in Philly and Houston, they're going to be awesome in Arlington when they go to Texas and Arizona. Like, who does that benefit more? Do you think the batter or the pitcher? Or the home team?
Oh, man, I think there's certain times, whatever's, kind of happened in the game. I think as a hitter, though, when you get those vibes, when you could do something like Schwarber did last night, when he comes up to open up the game and hits a rocket to bring the bank to their feet and that place is going crazy, there's a certain mojo, a certain energy that I really believe is real that kind of sets a tone. For as a hitter, you come up and then Harper comes up 2 guys later and all of a sudden that lineup just catches fire. I think there's something about the home crowd for a lineup. If you can get the party started early with the crowd, I think it benefits a lineup to take it to another level.
Listen, Mayor, Ty was pitching to me there, so he missed your entire answer about the Rangers, although he was definitely intrigued on that. But there's other things happening in baseball other than the playoffs that I think are captivating the kind of casual fans. Can we dive into those or only playoff talk?
No, let's do it.
Ty.
Yeah, so Mayor, any update on Shohei watch right now? I know with the elbow surgery, he's not going to pitch all of next year. Is that going to affect his potential contract? And also, what are you hearing in terms of, obviously everyone is interested in him, but who realistically has a chance of getting Shohei this offseason?
I think a bummer for Shohei. I think it affects his contract a little bit, but he's already come back from one Tommy John, and I think this one sounds like it's not as bad, so I think he'll be back pitching. But the fact that he's become such an elite hitter, his price tag will be obviously huge. I think the Dodgers are going to be in it, no doubt about it. They 100% will be in it huge. It sounds like the Red Sox are going to be in it. Obviously, he signed that big contract with New Balance, and they're sitting there in Boston, so that could be a huge one. I'd be shocked if the Yankees are in those talks too, which I know you're fired up about.
Yes.
I just think I think the Padres will be in those talks too. AJ Preller's liking his spend some money out there. So those are the 4 teams that come to mind when I think about Ohtani. And whoever's going to get him, man, is going to get the greatest player in the world right now.
Okay, let's talk about the greatest something in the world. You have a championship belt. You have a title over there on the couch. What is that?
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
This whole thing.
Right here, baby. Let me see what I got. I think this is, I think that might be John Cena. My man, Mark. Hey, you know Marty Miller, our buddy Marty Miller, director out there at WWE, sent me this belt one year, and I got it. It's incredible. Oh, I got one more belt. Hey,
yes, please. It's a title, though. It's a title.
Yeah.
So
I got this belt, too.
Belt holder
Ric Flair.
Whatever you want to call it.
Ric Flair, Edge, and Sheamus.
Legend?
Oh, wow. I see the World Heavyweight Championship there, and then I saw Cena's belt there. And shout out to Marty, obviously, big-time Phillies, Eagles, massive fan, incredible talent whenever it comes to cutting cameras. I got a chance to watch him work in Indianapolis for Fastlane. Great to see him. Also a guy who will hammer a beer or two.
What? Okay.
Which we all...
Or 5 or 20.
Okay. Hey, I wanted to ask you, because there's been rumblings. I don't know if you've ever told the story before publicly, but my sources from within the WWE world have told me that you have had, you know what I'm asking about here. I don't want to lead too far ahead here, but I've heard you've had an evening or two with some WWE folks. And how did that go? And I want to let you know, they have massive respect for the mayor and what the mayor can do at a bar. I just want to let you know that.
Are you talking about my run-in with John Cena?
I do believe that is the evening I heard about, yeah.
So one night I asked. I was with the Red Sox in 08, and we were coming down. We're playing Tampa Bay, and Cena popped on the screen. He's like, all right, all you Rays fans, let's give it up for the Tampa Bay Rays. And at the time, obviously, we knew that Cena was from Boston. We're like, he's posing. He's not from Tampa, he's not. So I called Marty. I'm like, Marty, can you send me John Cena's number? So Tim Wakefield and I, God rest your soul, Timmy, rest in peace. Tim and I got together and we got Cena's number. We called him. We're like, hey, dude, we saw you on the big screen in Tampa. We know you're not a big Rays fan. What are you doing? We know you're from Boston. Stop with the pose and all this stuff. So, we were crushing Cena. We left him a message. He's like, oh man, great message. Hey, let's get together for a couple pops at some point and all this. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So fast forward a couple weeks. Later in the season, we go down to play Tampa, and I called John. I'm like, Johnny, can you hook up? We're in town. We had an off day today. He's like, yeah, I'll meet you after my lift at 11:30. I'm like, who the hell is lifted at 10 o'clock at night? You know what I mean? Well, nobody but John Cena. So Cena shows up at the hotel bar, and he comes in. It was me, Tim Wakefield, Jason Bay, and a rookie named Jonathan Van Avery at the time. So we get together. We're having a few pops, and Cena's brother or ex-brother-in-law at the time, I think, was like, let's get some lemon drop shots. And he was like, we're not doing that. He's like, let's get out the Jack. And I was like, oh, this isn't good, right? So Cena, we get out a shot, we get out a drink, and we toast it up. We toast it up to Arn Anderson. I'm like, let's give it up to Arn Anderson, 4 Horsemen, the Enforcer, boom. So then, we do that a couple rounds. Next thing you know, maybe it was a little liquid courage, Pat, but I'm like, hey, listen, hey, I was like, any chance I could line you up for a chop? I was like, I said, I just want to see what it's like. What do I got to do? Do I come in like Ric Flair, bam, give you on the backhand and woo, give you one of those? And he's like, oh, Casey, this is perfect. He goes, no, what I want you to do is I want you to chop me as hard as you can right here. And he's like, and just let it rip. And I go, oh, I can't wait. He goes, now there's one thing to the story. He goes, one thing here. He goes, if you chop me, I get to chop you back. And I'm thinking, yeah, that sounds awesome, man. John Cena will light you up with a chop. This would be incredible. So sure enough, I back up. 5 steps back, AJ. Here, come running up. Boom! I hit Cena as hard as I can in the chest. He doesn't even move. It was like, and I literally, I thought I broke my hand. I was like, oh my God. I didn't know humans were this big and thick and strong. I was like, oh my God, that hurts so bad. So he's like, all right, Case. He's like, you ready for a chop? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. So I bow up. I'm like this, and Cena doesn't back up or anything. He just goes like this. I thought I was having a heart attack, dude. He hit me right in the heart. I went down. I'm down on the ground. I'm down on the ground dying, right? I'm literally, I can't breathe. I'm like, and all of a sudden I hear Tim Wakefield say, I want one of those. And I'm like, no, you don't, dude. No, you like, but I couldn't talk because I was having a heart attack on the ground. Literally, I've never been hit like that in my life. Next thing you know, Wakefield hits John Cena. John Cena, bam, he hits Wakefield. Wakefield's right next to me, laying flat out on the ground. Next thing you know, Cena just starts hitting people. He starts chopping Jason Bay on the back. I mean, people are going down. It was incredible. And the next day, I woke up with the worst headache of my entire life. I called Marty Miller. I'm like, Marty, why did you ever send me John Cena's number? He's like, you went out with Cena last night? I go, yeah. He goes, you can't go out with Cena, dude. He goes, he's an outlaw. Those guys are outlaws. You can't drink with them. I was like, hey, thanks for telling me after the fact. So I had the worst headache for 4 days. Next day, me, Tim Wakefield, Jason Bay all had John Cena handprints in black and blue for the next 2 weeks. True story.
Well,
Jeez.
I'm thankful you told the story because your version of it is certainly a little bit more animated than the one I've heard. But I've heard Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect back in the day. If you want to go sit down at a bar with old John Cena, you do not want to sign up for that. I've heard he could go.
Dude, he can go, and his whole goal is to put you to bed. Like, his whole goal is like a competition, like, just to put you to bed. And, like, in a bad way where, like, this doesn't work out for anybody. Don't have beers with John Cena ever. Please. Anyone out there that wants to think that's a good idea, please do not do that.
Well, rest in peace to Tim Wakefield. Yep. I assume that he was an incredible teammate, and obviously that came out of nowhere for the whole sports community and is incredibly sad. But whenever you hear stories like that, it just makes the memories and the celebration of life a little bit better. Thank you so much, Mayor. We appreciate you, buddy.
Okay, hey, fellas, thanks a lot, and talk to you again soon. Let's go baseball playoffs, and we'll see you.
Hey, hell yeah, and make sure I get this right, because yesterday was on TBS. I completely forgot about that. Now, tonight, Game 2, Phillies Diamondbacks, NLCS is tonight on TBS. Watch Sean on MLB Network's pre- and post-game coverage, and obviously, the Mayor's Office, the podcast is back now that old Cuzzy's not coaching. Woo! You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Casey. Love you too, man. Yeah, I've heard that story a few times.
That's awesome. Unreal.
Because they'll see, so all those guys at the WWE who have been there forever, they've been far too kind to us. But they like watch our show. They're all sports fans, you know what I mean? So like they'll watch clips of our show, they'll watch our show. And when I had the mayor on one time, Michael Cole was like, hey, ask the mayor about his night with John Cena or something like that. And I'm like, excuse me? What? And then it just like, we kind of move on to the next conversation. And then I think Marty told me, he was like, hey, I saw Sean Casey was on your show. You should ask him about hanging out with Cena one time. And I was like, all right, what happened? And then I started getting like some stories and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. It was never as detailed as that was, but what an evening I bet down there in Tampa. Yeah, he had a game the next day. So they all had bruises on their chest. Game the next day, I do believe, is the only thing that was missing from that tale there, AJ.
I mean, Sean Casey's the man. I've been talking about him forever. Obviously, he spent a good chunk of his career on the Reds. So watching the Reds grow up and watching that guy and then getting to see how juiced and animated he is every single time you see the guy, like, man, he's a special human being.
Yeah, from Pittsburgh, obviously. Mm-hmm. Absolute legend. We appreciate the hell out of him. But yeah, I've heard, like, Undertaker, there's a story about the Undertaker putting people to bed when they tried to drink. Who was it?
Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill, I guess, tried to drink with Undertaker one night, and he was like, all right, here we go. And then it ended with him carrying X-Pac out of the hotel room while all of Cypress Hill was passed out on the floor, and it's like the Undertaker just walks out. Like, one more for the wrestlers. You know, like, that's how they view themselves, though, because how it used to be is they would obviously travel like 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. They're doing 5-6 shows a week. Some of them, they're doing 2 shows on every single night. But whenever you're out with just the boys, it's like, all right, well, we're also going to have a good time. And it just became a part of the lifestyle. Like, we're going to drink, we're going to do our job, we're going to enjoy ourselves, and we're going to keep moving. And they take a lot of pride in the fact that they can put anybody from any profession to sleep, they think, in their prime. I don't know what it's like now. I don't know if any of the world is like what it is now, but some of those tales I've heard from back in the day are just like legendary. And when I heard Cena's name, I was like, Cena? They're like,
can you imagine being there, watching Cena just smack dudes in the chest and watch them fall?
Best hotel night ever.
Those hotel lobby bars, you know.
Yeah. You're right, though. Never, like, the places we've been, like, those guys get mobbed immediately when they get there with people who know they're there waiting for autographs. Like, they can't do that kind of shit anymore.
I love that Sean Casey, though, signed up for it.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
About it.
What's this guy? He's not a Rays fan. Hey, Marty, give me Cena's number. Hey, give me John Cena's number at the time. And then you see that photo of him as He is so
You got to think his
huge.
forearms were his right forearm in that picture.
And
He is so jacked.
He still is. He was.
I know.
Fastlane.
He was at Fastlane the other day. I got to see him, and like, he's still incredibly jocked. And I think
He should rap again. Put out another album.
Yeah.
Thugonomics, dude.
Yeah.
Do you play any other sports?
Football player.
Yeah.
He
Professional weightlifter. I mean, he's basically a power lifter.
The big ping pong guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Strictly based off of China, but
Table tennis, he does his thing. Maybe I would assume he's a great athlete. There's a lot of old videos popping up about him though. Whenever he went to OVW and Ohio Valley Wrestling down here in Louisville, Kentucky, it was him, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Dave Batista, Shelton Benjamin. I forget who
Same
else.
time?
Same time.
and like a minor promotion.
OVW was considered like that was where Rip Rogers was coaching. So like
It's like AAA pretty much, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. They had a direct deal with the WWE, and they're really crushing it. But yeah, he's from that course, and there's videos of him talking about playing football, not being good enough. So now he wants to see what wrestling's about. It's like, hey, I think that was a good decision.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna look back on this one and say good decision at the end. He's been incredibly cool to us too. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's dumb humble as well. Like we talk about Kirk Herbstreit being dumb humble.
Yep.
Like Kirk Herbstreit is annoyingly humble. If he wants to change something or make a change, he could do it. Like, but he'll say to me, like, don't you think we should maybe? I'm like, bro, you're fucking Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
Like,
you do it.
just say it. He's like, oh, no, not me. You know, like that, just like a stupid humility that I appreciate and respect, but also let's have a little self-awareness. You're fucking Kirk Herbstreit. John Cena, similar. Very, very, very similar, where it's like, he sent me a thank you text for introducing him to at Fastlane. It's like, Cena, thank you for allowing me to be in the same fucking ring as you. You're John Cena. You know what I mean? It's like some people you get a chance to meet and you're really like confused and baffled by it all. Like how about The Rock, where he's like, yeah, nobody's allowed to drive me. I'm driving my own car.
Sweet.
Not like these humans that you get to meet them as opposed to just like the image that they portray or what they are from what other people say. It's bananas. And Cena was certainly one of those guys.
Stone Cold before Mania.
Why?
Oh yeah.
In Dallas.
Stone Cold Shake. I hope these people remember me. It's like, we do.
Yeah.
Hey, we do, Steve. Yeah, in Dallas, I think it's going to be A-OK. Yeah. Everybody that I've met that has been like a person that I've been a fan of, like they say don't meet your heroes or whatever. It's like, I don't think I've been really disappointed by anybody yet. And I assume it's coming. But I don't know who.
No.
Not at that company.
Yeah,
No way.
They're all so nice.
Yeah, like that Marty guy is like very high up.
Yeah.
And he still talks to us as if, we were friends with the guy. It was awesome.
It's a big family, though. It's a big family.
Yeah.
The little bit I've been around it, I've been there multiple times throughout with you. Like, I'm blown away by how it is so tight knit. It is a legit full go family. It feels like
Only worth like $8 billion or something.
Yeah, no big
that's all.
deal.
At least.
Yeah, that's all. Just somehow still a human feel in there. Now, granted, they are riding limos.
Yep.
And we are flying private planes. But we're selling out 5 arenas a week.
Bingo.
So, like, it just came out. Taylor Swift is due to make $4.1 billion with her Eras tour.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Congratulations.
Let's go, Taylor.
That is awesome, by the way. That is incredible. Hard work, not easy, on the road. Nothing in comparison to military, cop, teacher. We get that. But as a business, as an entity, to be able to profit, I don't know what it's going to be, but to earn $4.1 billion from your hard work, it's like incredibly impressive. The WWE, they sell out 5-6 arenas every single week. It's like work, and they're all so incredibly kind to us. We're appreciative, and I love the fact that John Cena thought it was his duty to put these Boston Red Sox to fucking sleep one night at a bar, and he certainly did. Shout out to Sean Casey. Said the Rangers are good. Got a chance to hit a couple balls, and also the Phillies are electrifying. Don't give up on the Diamondbacks or the Astros, though, is what Sean Casey said, even though the world seemingly has already done that. Joining us now is a man who... his podcast is phenomenal. Now, just getting into the game, he's playing full-time, so it's not going to be as easy to be a full-time podcaster whenever your job is to destroy offensive game plans. Ended this past week's game with a safety of Mac Jones, where he was seemingly unblockable with a chip and a tackle. Get off me. That's what I do. In the quarterback, we learned he is a consummate pest and professional. Ladies and gentlemen, the Condor from the Raiders, Max Crosby.
What's up, boy? I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for having me on. It means a lot, man.
No, thank you for joining us, dude. It means a lot to us. Like, right now, you're playing your best ball, we will assume. Do you feel like you're only getting better at this stage still? And how is that even possible, seemingly?
Yeah, no, I think I'm playing some pretty good ball right now. You know, for me, every single day, it's a challenge, you know, to outdo myself the day before. So I'm not surprised by the results, but for me, it's an everyday process, and I know I have room to grow. So, you know, I could in this league, like when you have success, guys, you know, especially early in their career, they think about, you know, you get all this hype and you're getting taps on the back and you could take a step back. But for me, it's like I try to stay in the middle, stay even keeled, and just find ways to improve and look at the things I can get better at. And that's why I feel like, you know, I'm consistently getting better every single day.
Yeah, even keeled until we get a it's you're the perfect mix, man. I think every team wishes they had a Max Crosby. It's beautiful. Go ahead, AJ.
Max, I'm curious about the way you use your hands. Like, it's so impressive. If anyone even thinks about getting their hands on you, you're always swiping, chopping, always working, always turning your shoulders, turning the corner. Is that something like with your handwork that you've always focused on, or did someone at a young age teach you that? Because it feels like you're next level when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's a part of my game that's, super important. And I feel like these last 2 years, implementing boxing into my routine has really helped with that. I work boxing all year round, and I spar with like actual professionals and UFC guys. So, just hand quickness and anticipation and understanding distance is super important as a pass rusher. So once you have that, and then you have the ability to bend and speed rush and power rush and counter, it just, you're constantly, making the tackles guess. And that's what, my ultimate goal is literally just have them on their toes and guessing all the time. And, by the end of the game, they're confused and they don't know, what you're coming with.
You're getting chipped and double teamed on most plays. Congratulations. You earned that. You earned that. Now, yeah, no problem. Now, Chandler Jones supposed to be on the other side. Everything that's taken place that has done that. Have you felt a sense of having to do more because of a loss of another incredible sack getter on your defense? Have you felt like you have to perform at a higher level because you're getting the respect of getting a chip and a double team basically on every single play? Have you felt that at all in your growth as a player?
No, for me, I feel like it's me versus me every single day. I can listen, there's obviously things that are going on outside and inside the building, but that's out of my control. At the end of the day, I control myself and everything I do to, prepare to go out there and be my best. So I'm not worried about all the outside noise and all the, stuff that's going on. That's completely out of my control. So I control the controllables and just continue to get better. And that's all I can do every single day.
Hell yeah. Control the controllables. Situations are situation. The little things turn into the big things. All those cliches are a cliche for a reason, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? People like mock, but that's real. Like every single day, only worrying about what you can worry about takes a lot of pressure out of your life, Max. I don't think people really agree with that too much.
No, 100%. For me, I focus on the details. I think that's the most important thing, in our profession. Y'all being, former NFL players, how important every little thing is and every single detail to go out there and perform at the highest level. So for me, it's like, people talk about the big picture, the sacks, the TFLs, things like that, but it really comes down to the little details to make those things happen. So yeah, it is a little bit cliche, but it's the truth, and that's how I live.
Are you smaller or bigger this year? Same size? What is it?
I would say I have more lean muscle. My motor's bigger. And, for me, it's just every year I try to find new things in the off season to get better at. Like Sean Strickland, he's the middleweight champ now. Me and him did 3 rounds of sparring and we beat the shit out of each other. And, just testing myself in different ways and just, not questioning, all right, am I going to be okay and survive the situation? It's like, no, I'm going to go in 10 toes and see how it goes. And that's really what my whole offseason was about, just trying new things and, being uncomfortable.
This offseason, we learned a lot about you, more specifically your relationship with Patrick Mahomes. Did you enjoy the way you were perceived? I don't know who that is. Shout out to whoever that is. Good to see him.
Great guy.
Who's that?
It's Matt Butler, Tennessee Volunteer. He's just hanging out.
Hey, it's good to see you, Matt.
See you, Matt.
Good to see you, Matt. Hope life's good. Go Vols. This offseason, though, we got a chance to see you operate on a football field in a different light, more specifically with Patrick Mahomes on the quarterback documentary, basically. Did you appreciate the way you were kind of portrayed in that? And also, do you go on the field and know that you're playing like that, or do you black out completely while you're playing and just kind of let it handle afterward? Like, were you watching that going, shit, I didn't know.
Jeez.
Damn, a little extra shot there. Or how did you feel while watching quarterback?
Honestly, for me, it's not like I'm out there blacking out and I don't remember what's going on or anything like that. Like, I do that in practice every single day. I do it every single game. They just happen to be recording all the, extra shit I was doing. So for me, I was laughing. I thought it was hilarious. And I'm constantly trying to find a little edge and bother quarterbacks and bother running backs, whoever it is, O-linemen as well. So, yeah, they caught all that on camera, and I had no idea that they were recording all of it. So, people finally get to see that side of me, but, like, that's really who I am. I'm not shy about it. People can take it any way they want. They can say I'm, an asshole or villain, but, like, I embrace it. I really don't give a damn. So it is what it is.
I appreciated Patrick's response. Like, hey, I know what you're doing, but like that was a little late there. And then after the game, big hugs. It's like you're respected and appreciated as the guy that you are. And I think that's only because of how great you are at football. You've earned all this, but I did think about you watching it while I was watching it. I'm like, man, I wonder what Max is thinking while kind of watching it, because the whole world's watching that. Netflix is like the entire globe kind of diving in. Connor has a question for you, Max.
Yeah, Max, obviously tough start to the season. Then you guys have really bounced back these last 2 weeks. How has Josh McDaniels kind of grown in this second season? Do you see kind of a different side of him? Is he more comfortable in his role as head coach? And do you feel like things are turning in the Raiders' direction the way you guys wanted to right now?
Yeah, I think Coach McDaniels has done an awesome job. Obviously, like you said, you can read all the headlines and the negativity and things like that. When you're losing, that's what comes with it. So, when you win football games, people start talking about the positive. So Coach McDaniels is with us every single day. He's consistent, and that's all you can ask for in a head coach. Every single day is the same guy. He's super hard on us, but we know what we want, and we know what we're trying to, what brand of football we're trying to play. And I feel like we're getting closer and closer to that every single week. So yeah, I think Coach McDaniels has done a hell of a job, and, guys love him. And he's the same guy every day. And that's, I can say it a million times, but it's really, rare, to have a head coach who's also calling the plays, but, on top of it, he knows everything on the defense. He's like a brilliant dude. So, I got a ton of respect for him. We have a great relationship, and we just got to keep it rolling. We got Chicago Sunday, so we got to get another one.
Massive win over his old team, the Patriots. Obviously, a lot of old Patriots on the Raiders right now. That had to feel great for him and the whole squad. And the reason why it ended, this pest.
Yep.
Right here, off the edge, throw down. Hi, give me that. Get out of here. Fuck everybody. Yeah. That is the vanilla gorilla walk immediately afterwards, which I respect so much. You have a lot of incredible nicknames. Darius has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of some former Patriots, your DC Patrick Graham, what's it like playing for him? And where did that nickname, the Condor, come from?
So Pat, it's funny. Pat was in Miami when I was coming into the league. So I was going on my top 30 visits, and I was in Miami, and for the most part, my trip to Miami, I'm not going to lie, it was rough. All the coaches were super hard on me. And I told my agent after, I'm like, I don't want to come here. I was like, tell Miami don't have me. But my one meeting at Miami that I liked was Pat Graham. And he was so weirdly nice to me. I thought he was being sarcastic. Because I was a 4th-round pick. I was a skinny white dude from Eastern Michigan. I wasn't, getting a ton of love. And Pat was like, man, I'm telling you, you're my favorite player. You're the best. You play your ass off. You do it the right way. And I'm like, is this like real, or is he messing with me? But, Pat is awesome. We have an incredible relationship, and now obviously he's my DC. So he's getting better, just like everybody else. And, he's done an incredible job this year, getting everybody to rally together. And then, the nickname, the Condor thing, for me, I've had a bunch of nicknames. I got the, Mad Max, the Condor, but there's a million different ones. I feel like it's weekly. It's changing, on a weekly basis. But Brian Baldinger, got to give my respect to Baldy. He's the one who came up with the Condor, and I honestly think it's my favorite nickname for sure.
Baldy's breakdowns are beautiful. The Condor is in a world full of, hard to think of new nicknames. Like the Condor is such a good one.
So good.
It sounds so hard.
Yeah.
I guess it is a good representation. I don't even know what an actual condor is. Nope. I just know, Max Crosby's a goddamn condor. Mm-hmm. Whenever I watch it, it feels right. Go ahead, AJ.
So are you really stepping in the octagon with Sean Strickland, and are you exchanging blows? You getting hit in the head by Sean Strickland as well? And how does that go? That can't feel great. I know you're wearing headgear, I'm sure.
We literally, so this is how it happened. Me and Strickland have been boys for a long time. When he first got into the UFC, I was a fan. I seen him fight a couple times. He's in the octagon talking shit the whole time while he's fighting. I'm like, who is this dude? then we, had a relationship for years and years, and all of a sudden he keeps winning, and now he's fighting Izzy for a title shot. So, we were cool. We're boys, and NFL Films calls and they're like, hey, we want to get a behind the scenes of how you train and blah, blah, blah. Do you have anybody, you can spar with? And I'm like, well, I know Sean Strickland. He's my buddy, but he's like notorious for being a horrible sparring partner because he goes in there and actually tries to knock people out. So I was like, fuck it. Oh, sorry. Excuse my language. I can't cuss.
Oh, you pig. No, you're good, Condor. Let it fly.
Good. Sounds good. And then he's like, all right, bet. I'll show up. We do this thing. So we had a full camera crew, and me and Strickland going there. Had no mouthpiece, no head guard, nothing. Oh. We did three rounds, and we were banging. Like, my nose was messed up for two weeks straight. Like, but we were cracking. I have all the footage and everything. Like, it was a real fight. We were out there swinging.
How'd you do? How'd you do? This guy's about to be chopped. How'd you do?
Obviously, he got the better of me. He finished. He's a UFC world champion. But I definitely landed some check hooks. I will say that. And the fact that I landed some and I gave him a little cut on his lip, I was proud of that.
Did Sean do any post-fight press conference to the NFL Films camera? Did he? Did he?
Every bit of footage was cut. He was saying, he's a maniac.
Yeah. I mean, what a perfect place, though. Dana, the UFC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's not a more perfect profession for that guy, I don't think.
No.
And I do love that you guys just went in there. No mouthpiece.
Whoa.
Less than what the UFC had. No mouthpiece, no headgear. 3-minute rounds, you said?
3-minute rounds.
You're a fucking psycho, dude. You're an absolute psycho. Tone has a question for you about this, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Max, we saw the footage and we talked about how good like your bend is and how good your hands are and stuff like that. But like, have you ever watched yourself play? Like I've never seen you stop one time. Like by far in the NFL, I think you have the highest motor in the NFL. Do you take that as a compliment? Because like a lot of guys do like lunch pail, first in, first out, high motor guys. Like, have you ever not just ran full speed on a football field?
It's funny. A lot of people, especially early in my career, like I'm coming from Eastern Michigan. We had a great turf. So like I'm the ultimate blue collar guy. Immediately I get that label. So I had to really, earn the right to be put in the conversation as one of the, better pass rushers. But for me, I don't take it as a knock at all. The guys I look up to the most and that I idolize are the Kobe Bryants, the Jordans, the guys that put in the most work. And like over time, I know I'm going to get the respect, by just continuing to do what I do. So I don't take it as a diss that I'm, the hardest worker in the building. I love it. And, people could say it's, because I'm a white dude playing hard in the football field. It's like, oh yeah, it's all because he plays hard and, he's going to be tough. It's like, no, that's just another reason why, I separate myself from most of the people because I play every single snap. And there's no other DN doing that in the league or D lineman in general doing it. So I pride myself on it. And my skill level, I feel like matches my, my work ethic. So, just continuously, I want to keep, continuously going in that trajectory.
What's your cardio though? You swim, you run, what is it?
Yeah, well, I box. That's something that's, I implemented these past 2 years. I do, UFC stuff like Strickland. I went to Miami with Dana and those guys. Obviously, Dana's a, friend of the show as well, but he invited me out to Miami. We went, me and Hunter Campbell, Dana's right-hand man, we went on a 10-mile run on South Beach, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm 260 pounds. We did 10 miles, and it was the hardest thing I've done in my life, and I did it this offseason. And everyone was scared to do it, and they're like, yeah, Hunter's like, yeah, man, I'm going 10 miles in the morning. Who's coming with me? And everyone's like, absolutely not. And I'm like, I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it.
Hey, you're representing for football there, Max. We appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we ran the 10 miles, and I was able to finish and do the whole thing. So, yeah, a little shit like that is like why I feel like I'm separating myself because I'm not scared to go out there and test myself. So.
Have you always been like that, even as a kid, like super good cardio?
No. It's something I had to, established. It took, years and years to get to that level. But it's just the obsession, to get better. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's bananas, bro. You need to know that because obviously the legs have to be in shape to be able to go every single play and hand-to-hand combat in there. But the cardio, like last night, Chargers started running some tempo against that Dallas front, and you saw a lot of this like immediately. It was like second quarter or whatever. I assume you'd be caught dead before you do one of these, but that's a skill. That's a talent. That's a trait that not a lot of people are able to have. I'm proud of you, dude. Hey, look at you developing cardio. That's not something I think that happens at an older age.
No, it's definitely a little unique, but I appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
So I feel like you and Spillane there in the middle are like the modern day Bash brothers. When you look at your squad, I saw you talking about how much fun you guys have. You're always out there before practice, throwing the ball around, just having a great time. What's it like playing with that guy? Obviously, I'm sure he probably had some friendly fire where he's hit you in the back accidentally because that guy's an absolute missile wherever he goes. But what's it like playing with him?
He's right here, just all trapped.
His fucking neck, bro. We had him on one time, and it's just, I've never seen anything like it, dude. I've never seen it.
It's from here. It's unbelievable. But yeah, no, Spillane he's my guy. When he came in this offseason and signed with us, he immediately comes in. He's like, bro, I want to work out with you. And we're on the field running sprints, doing our thing together. And I was like, I could play with this dude. So yeah, he's come in and he's a tone setter. Every single day he's out there on the field throwing the ball around before practice like he's a kid. And like, that's the type of energy you want in the building, especially in the NFL. It's every single day. It's the hours and hours of hard work. And when you have guys that are just out there having fun and enjoying playing the game, like that's what you want. So he's an absolute legend. I love Robert Spillane. The dude played at Western Michigan. We were playing against each other in college. So it's crazy. Obviously both of us Matt guys in the NFL starting. So it's definitely a blessing.
He's got the C on his chest too. Like, he was getting 1 year like tryout contracts pretty much with the Steelers the last couple of years and made some big time plays, but it wasn't like he was the guy. And then we see him on Monday night. Dude's got a C on his chest. What's up, dude? How we doing? That was not, I don't know who that was, but I know that wasn't Bobby Spillane. You know what I mean?
That's Big JT, Jerry Tillery, baby.
Hey, what's up, Big JT?
Yeah.
What's up, Big JT? Where are we in the building right now?
I'm in the D-line room right now, so we got people going in and out.
Most entertaining room in any football building on earth is the D-line room. If you get a chance to go in and just drop an ear into a room, you go right to the D-line room. Who knows what the conversation is going to be, but it is going to be electrifying. Last question for you here, Max. We appreciate the hell out of your time. Go ahead, Ty.
Max, every week, obviously, you're a game wrecker, and then Pat mentioned, you obviously have the respect of offenses because you're getting doubled and you're getting chipped, but do you still feel like disrespected or almost underappreciated because you're not always mentioned in the same category as guys like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, Bosa, those kind of guys? And do you give a shit about that at all?
I definitely do. For me, my goal is to be the best. Simple as that. So every single day I show up, every time I go out on the field, I'm trying to prove a point, and I take everything personal. So for me, it's an obligation for me to make it unfair, and people have to put me in that conversation. I don't care how long it takes. My goal is to get there, and I know where I'm going. So yeah, I definitely take it personal. I don't sit there and worry about the other guys and are they doing this, but for me, it's like, all right, if I'm at my best, I know I'm going to give myself a chance to eventually, people give me that full respect. But I understand it. Like Nick Bosa, TJ, all those guys got massive amount of respect for them. But like for me, I'm a 4th round pick from Eastern Michigan. I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing. They're all top 10 picks. So for me, I've always had to go above and beyond to prove my worth, and I'm willing to run that race. And that's what gets me up in the morning every day.
Hell yeah. Keep that chip on the shoulder, maybe 10 of them. And obviously, congratulations on the podcast launch, The Rush, at youtube.com/Max Crosby _98. If you scan that code right there, it will take you right to the pod. We're pumped you're getting into this world. How have you been enjoying it, and what have the shows been like?
It's been incredible. We're about to drop our 3rd episode today, so tune in on that. I love it. It's something we've been talking about for a while. My co-host, Brogan Roback, he starred on Hard Knocks.
Brogan? Yeah. The Brogan?
What? Brogan, that's my co-host, my best friend. We're day one, so he's my co-host. And then my other 2 teammates from Eastern Michigan, Darian Terrell, Dustin Creel. We have a whole team. It's all organic, all in-house, and we're doing it. just our way, and we just want to keep building it. So, like I said, we've been wanting to do it for a long time, and I think it's off to a great start. So we're excited.
Hell yeah, it is, man. Keep going. We're very lucky that players like you are sharing their story and opinions and ideas. It's better for the sports world as a whole, just like you are for the NFL. We appreciate your time, brother. Have a great week.
Hey, man. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon.
The Condor. It's a Max Crosby. I like that. I'm a 4th-round pick, okay? From Western Michigan? Eastern Michigan. I'm not supposed to be in these conversations. What are we talking about? Yeah, I care if I'm in there. It's like, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
What a motivated human. And we didn't even dive into, obviously, how inspirational he is with his recovery and being sober and also being in Las Vegas and having to do that and turning his focus to being a football player full time. His motor's absurd. I really enjoy watching him play football. You can't help but notice him flying around every single play.
Jumps off the tape. And like he said, he takes pride in not coming off the field. A lot of D linemen, a lot of pass rushers rotate, try to keep him fresh for him to not come off the field and still have that type of high motor and impact on every game. Every game the Raiders play, winning or losing, 98 is, he's going to be playing balls to the wall. So nothing but respect for Matt.
Did you see what I was talking about there when they started running a little hurry up, little tempo? The Chargers would go deep ball, boom, and then they would go hurry up, and it caught like the D line. I saw like a lot of this potentially on the D line quick there. I'm like, why is everybody just going to start running tempo against the Dallas Cowboys? Because that's Kellen Moore saying, hey, I know this defense and kind of doing that. Felt like they had something going there for a little bit in the middle of I think it was second quarter they were doing that thing there early.
Sometimes play calls just switch it up and go a little tempo, especially after a big play, try to catch them off guard, or try to catch a group of guys on the field and not let them sub out. So just good coaching by him. But no, I don't think that's they have got enough guys up there that can rotate and rush the passer in Dallas.
AJ, I don't think we talked to you about the game last night at all, and obviously we are 6 minutes away from a sensation joining us.
Yeah, let's go.
That's what this show does.
Yeah.
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 A lot of things have been said about this show. Marianne Doe.
Yep.
Marianne.
Somewhere in between there. Yep.
Super confident in that, huh?
I mean, just reading it, I don't know, if I knew country of origin for the last name,
Absolutely.
I think I would have
Would that really help you?
Yeah.
That would help you?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
bro. I'm cultured, bro. What do you think
what
this
are you
is?
talking about?
Okay. All right.
Wouldn't help you?
No, absolutely. It would not help me at all. No, not even
Why don't you
close.
expand your horizon
Read a
little bit?
book.
I'm trying. I'm asking you questions. That's how I'm trying. I'm trying to expand it.
Anyways, Marianne Doe, she will be joining us here in about 6 minutes or so, and we will get the proper pronunciation of her name whenever she joins us. She was obviously the sensation, and the waves that she was riding as a Chargers fan was certainly a spectacle, and we can't wait to chat with her. And we're happy she's not a plant or an actor.
Right.
She's just a diehard fan of a team.
Exactly.
Somehow, people don't believe that could be true, and they are just negative, terrible people. Darius Butler, Tone Diggs, Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people on the internet.
Yep.
Anyways, other than that, which we will learn more about here in about 5 minutes, what did you think of the game, and how pumped are you for the Dallas Cowboys getting back on the right track here?
Yeah, it was good for the Cowboys. They needed it. I know the whole must-win, whole stupid situation people like to talk about this early in the season. It's the Chargers are weird though. Like obviously the Cowboys, yes, we know like their defense can be dominating Micah and end of the game, the pick by Gilmore, all this stuff. But the Chargers, they have great players everywhere you look, and they just can't seem to finish games. They just don't, whatever that is. What do they got to do to get over that hump?
It's just a constant problem though. Like the fact that Marianne still has the juice to get up for these games after what these Chargers fans have been through is so impressive to me, because there's a stat. They have 6 games that they've lost in the last 2 years that are three points or less. Now, we're only 6 weeks into this year, so it's like a year and third.
In 5 games.
A year and a third or whatever. They've had 6 losses of 3 points or less. They've been in it. And then you even go back before these last 2 years, whenever Anthony Lynn was the head coach, there was still like 2-minute drill failures and end-of-game collapses where they should have won. Like, I don't know the exact amount of games that they should have won, but it has to be in the teens to maybe even 20 over the last 3 years. Are they cursed? Do they not have the rights? Like, what is it about the Chargers that those close ones end up going the other way, honestly?
If you're talking about curses, you have to go way back, even like the Phillip Rivers era. Like, remember those teams used to be stacked on both sides of the ball. LT, Sproles, all the big receivers, Vincent Jackson, Merriman, Cromartie, Jammer, just dogs all over the field. But for some reason, could never get over the hump, get to a Super Bowl, make playoff runs.
Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
Yeah, suck it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That's literally
that's why.
The reason why I got drafted to the Colts is because Mike Cypher's another guy, like one of the greatest punters of all time, was on their team. He won a playoff game against the Colts in Indianapolis. I think he had like 7 pins inside the 5, and Hunter Smith couldn't get the ball out, so they decided, like, we're going to go with another guy next year for the punting position, and it was me, a guy who didn't even know how to punt yet, so I certainly an interesting choice there by Bill Polian. But they talk about how the Chargers-Colts used to be, like, that was
slugfest.
And then you start thinking about like the number of games, like, Tom Brady was up there, Peyton was up there. So that Phil Rivers team, like, that's a tough. And then you think about Ben Roethlisberger came in with the Steelers. It was like AFC was very, very dominant at the top, and the Chargers never had a chance to really crack through.
Yeah, it was those three, and then Flacco snuck in 1 year. For 20 years, it was Brady
and made $100 million.
Yeah, there's
Still play a playoff game with an ACL tear too.
Yeah, against the Patriots.
Yeah, there's a crazy story about that. I think it was from like 2000 to 2019. It was Brady, Manning, or Flacco and Ben for I think 18 of the 20 years. Like it's absurd.
You got to sneak in and get one.
Well, I think they had that 1 year where like he had like one of his best seasons of his career, and then Nate Kading, and I can't remember if it was either the divisional round or the AFC Championship. He missed like 4 field goals and lost him a game.
Oh, we didn't need that.
He's a guy. I love Nate Kading.
Did they fire Schottenheimer too after
15
like a
12 and 4? Yeah, 14-2. Yeah,
14-2.
Crazy.
Move cities. But they still got Marianne Doe.
That's right.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
They're still cursed.
Who?
The Chargers, and they'll never win.
You think Staley's done here?
I think the only way for the team to be any different. I mean, what did you say? The last thing you said yesterday before the show ended. Can't wait to see how these guys do with the clock tonight. Like, that shouldn't be a thought going into the game. Like, I wonder how these head coaches of NFL teams are going to fuck up the clock tonight. Like, we say that about Staley all the time, and it's like a joke, but it's not a joke. Like, he does it every single week.
Is there also part of it, like, there's got to be some sort of, like, football gods? Like, when you basically, like, sell your soul to analytics and stuff like that, like...
Oh, we think that the football gods are watching.
Shit like this happens, man. It is like we talked about how many times like the ball just doesn't bounce your way. Like, I mean, crazier things have happened. Like, their team is too good. They have too many guys to have the conversation be the exact same on most Mondays, and then especially in the playoffs.
All right, let's wrap up what we haven't talked about yet that needs to be talked about. There's a guy in prison who's giving out parlay locks. Yeah. Now, I will say I am a big believer in what I see on the internet is real. Mm-hmm. There is a chance that this particular recording, which I don't know how they're getting it out of jails, which I love that jails are in the content-making business, especially in the sports gambling content-making business. There is a chance this is happening after the results and then hitting the internet. But if it's not that, and old Cuz is sitting in his cell dialing up these parlays, this dude has a bright future once he gets out of jail. Listen to this guy call this most recent parlay. This is the second one that's gone viral from Cuzzy in jail. Here he is.
Man, just bet 500 on this ticket. Make it a parlay. All right, I got Raiders over Patriots. I got the Jets over Eagles. Bills over New York Giants. Lions over Tampa Bay. Rams over Cardinals. New York Liberty, the basketball team. Yeah, the WNBA. New York Liberty over Las Vegas Aces. Yeah, make all of it a parlay.
All right, so, hey, we're proud of this guy.
Yeah, good call.
You know, I have no idea why he's in jail. But if he takes all of his attention and time that he is doing right now in jail, post his jail sentence, unless he's in forever. We have not been told whether or not he murdered 45 people and he's in jail. We have no idea. But we do think there is a bright future ahead for him And that's good news, right, AJ? That's good news. This guy's dialing up plays from jail.
Nice.
Billy Walters might hire him, honestly, when he gets out. I think the guy needed 10 grand for bail, and so I think that bet got him 13, right?
That was
the story on the internet. And then there was one he was in jail dressed very similarly in September as well, where one came out. So we don't know if old buddy's getting out of jail because of these parlays or if this is just how he's spending his time in jail. And I appreciate the fact that he can make a lot of money outside of jail while he's cooking this up. I wonder how the boys inside the jail feel about this. You know, because if you're a good dominoes player or cards player or something like that, you can really run in there.
Oh, yeah.
He's running something outside of it. I wonder how much is kind of...
Sure, there's a bookie in there.
You think he's...
I assume there's
two
a book.
cinnamon rolls.
I assume there's a book in
giving
the
this
jail,
entire thing. I appreciate it. Let's pivot away from the jail guy who's making incredible predictions that none of us could have ever been able to do. Let's pivot to somebody who has restored my faith in fanhood. Not just NFL fandom, but I'm talking sports fandom. We've gotten to an era in a time where people are too embarrassed to showcase their emotions for things outside of themselves. Last night, we were all inspired and entertained as we watched along with Marianne Doe as she watched her beloved Los Angeles Chargers do what they have done a lot of times over the last few years. Joining us now, this super fan for the Chargers, the one who's restored our faith in humanity, Marianne Doe.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, Marianne, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
I want to dive right into this, okay? Because what you did last night was awesome. I love the fact that you were able to eliminate all of life's bullshit and just get lost in the moment. What was your reaction to finding out? Yeah! What is your reaction to finding out that you were a massive part of the game? And what is your reaction to the response to how you were watching the Los Angeles Chargers?
So, funny thing, Pat, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm intense in everything I do. Football being one of the most intense things I do, to the point where sometimes my dad is like, okay, you need to sit down. You're gonna fall. You're gonna kick the kid. Something's gonna happen. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm freaking out, but I'm good. So last night when I was watching, I'm like, oh, it's so close. Like, we just need to get that touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, my bad. But we just have to get that touchdown. And when we got it, I couldn't handle it. I was excited. I was elated. My heart was just bursting. And I was super excited. I've been a football fan as long as I can remember, and a Chargers fan ever since I moved to California almost 20 years ago. I love the passion. I love all of it. And I just feel like everything in our life, as long as we're passionate about the things we love, like, who cares about everything else? This world is hard enough. Like, let's enjoy the ride, up and down, whatever.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm down.
Hey, don't you apologize for anything, Marianne. The world needs more of you. You need to know that. So you've been a fan for 20 years since they've come out there. The thing that I'm most impressed with is at this stage of the Chargers, okay? And there's a lot of stats about them losing 6 games by 3 points or less over the last 2 years. And you keep going back. It's like close game, devastating loss. Close game, devastating loss. Close game, devastating loss. So you still having the juice and the passion for the Chargers was the most impressive part for me. Have you ever questioned it? Like, maybe this isn't the right team to spend all my energy cheering for, because inevitably in the end, there's a chance the Chargers are going to charge her.
There's always a chance, right? I mean, before I die, we're going to get there. We're going to win it, and it's going to happen. I mean, I have my up days. I have my down days. I just feel bad for my kids going to school today and being like, was that your mom? Because at the end of the day, like, even when it's my down day, my husband still believes in me. My kids still love me. So my Chargers, hey, yes, they got me sad at the end, but hey, we're going to ride up again. So it's all good. You have to have faith. If not, what's the point of being a fan?
Oh, I love it, Marianne. Go ahead, AJ.
Sure. So, Marianne, there's some skeptical people out there, a couple in the studio. I won't name names.
Darius Butler, Anthony DeGilio.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Over there.
Hi, Marianne.
So, Marianne, were you offended by when people like this said, hey, she's a plant, she's working for the NFL, she's a robot, she's an alien, this can't be real, no one's that passionate?
You know what? I wish I was getting paid. I wish I could make myself, AI and as beautiful as I want. But at the end of the day, this is me, guys. This is me. Crazy Mama 4, crazy Chargers fan, crazy freaking football fan. And it is what it is. I'm not
What do you like at your kids' games? Do your kids play sports? Do you cheer like that?
Oh, gosh. If you ever get in touch, so all the moms are texting me. They're like, why are people saying you're fake? Because this is how you're at flag football. This is how you are when you're at soccer. This is the basketball finals. This is you. And I'm like, yeah, I guess my poor kids have to deal with this every day. But now it's crazy. It's overwhelming that the whole world thinks this is so different because this is my kids have had to deal with this all their lives.
Marianne, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so awesome that people think it's fake. That's what the world is that we're in. So we appreciate you joining us and explaining all this stuff. Has Roger Goodell or anybody from the NFL reached out? Because honestly, what I saw was something that is so good for the NFL. Because to your point and to AJ's point, it's like there's not a lot of things or people that are this passionate about something anymore. Everybody's scared to be passionate, especially in public, because they don't want to get made fun of. They don't want to expose themselves. They don't want to set themselves up for failure that's inevitably there. You seemingly let it all out, ride it, and do it all for the NFL. Has anybody reached out to you? You need Super Bowl tickets.
Yes.
We need to let people know that you are a fan of the NFL and that we need more people like you.
I am a huge fan.
Yeah, we need more people like you, not less.
I am a huge fan. I am not afraid to hold my fandom out there because at the end of the day, there are so many people in the stands. We all feel the same way, right? Like you watch a game, it's your team. Your heart is aching. Your heart is excited. You're freaking jumping and you're freaking crying at the end of the day, right? Like it is what it is. Whether you're watching football, you're watching flag football with your kid, you got to be in it because why do we do what we do? So, hey, man, if somebody reaches out to me, I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, this is not AI. I'm a real human. And it's okay if you know, people think that I'm an actress. Whatever. I wish
you could be.
Actress,
Marianne, I think you could do. Marianne,
I'm just a mom.
No, you're not. I think you could do anything you want to be honest with you, after watching how committed you are to being a fan of the Chargers. Did you know that while you were there, like, I assume somebody had to tell you, like, hey, you are a part of this game now, or were you so locked in?
You know what's funny is we go to a ton of games. Like, they always get me on the Jumbotron because I am freaking nuts, right? Whether I'm in my seat or in the cabana, they get me on the Jumbo, but I've never been on TV. I never expect to be on TV. So then I'm just cheering and I hear, like, I wear a watch and I'm like, it's buzzing, but whatever. Like, I need to watch this freaking end of this game. And I'm buzzing. And then somebody comes up to me from the field and they're like, do you know you're on TV? And I'm like, no, but we need to get this, we need to get this. We need to get this last touchdown. He needs to get in there again. We need to win this freaking game or tie and get into the freaking OT. Like, what? Sorry, excuse my language. But yes, like, get in there. Let's do this. And so I had no idea until at the end. And then I'm like, okay, why do I have these text messages? And then I realized, oh, okay. So I get home, my kids are like, Mommy, you were on TV. And I'm like, okay, this is too much. Like I just went to the game and I'm just coming home to tuck you in, guys. Come on. So you already know this is me, flag football, whatever.
Yeah, your mom's famous. Okay, go to bed. Yeah, that is what we got cooking right there. This is another day. We look on, we move forward. There was other people that didn't think you were fake or a plant. There was another theory out there. Tone Diggs has a question for you.
I just thought that you're right. Pat's talked about how there's not a lot of people that excited and that into the games because they're afraid to be. I just figured you had like somewhere between $100,000 to $1 million on the game, on the Chargers.
I wish I had $100,000 and I wish I had $1 million to put on the game. I actually have nothing, not even a lotto ticket. I'm that kind of person that when I buy the Powerball and I lose, I'm literally sad. And people are like, why are you sad? I'm like, I'm not going to buy a ticket if I don't want to win. I'm not going to go to a game and cheer for my team if I don't freaking love them and want them to win. And so that's just how I live my life.
You've said frickin' on the show too much.
Yeah, geez, Louise.
Sorry.
Kids show.
Yeah, unbelievable. Everybody's going to stop watching because your language is so
I know. Stop.
Okay, Marianne, Brandon Staley makes these decisions, We call him Staleying in the national spotlight. I don't know how you guys describe him. I couldn't even fathom how you feel. Thinking back about the Raiders one.
Timeout.
Going back through. Has he, I don't want to say near
from
death.
last season. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is there, since Staley's entrance into your life, have you felt more of an anxiety level while watching the Chargers? Is that fair to say?
I think if you look historically at the Chargers, historically at the NFL, you're going to have anxiety no matter what year you watch it. yes, I have a lot of anxiety now because our record now, but at the end of the day, there's always growing pains. There's always things that we're going to go through to get to where we need to be. And I'm a believer in that, hey, this is where we're at right now. This is the team that we have right now. This is our coach right now. You, as a fan, I feel like we need to will it to happen, right? I tell so everybody in the cabana probably hates me because I'm like, you guys got to will it. Will that first down. Will that touchdown. We got to will it. Like, it's got to be in your heart, So I feel like whoever our coach is, whoever our QB is, whoever our offensive coordinator is, whatever it is, we need to will them to be the best. We need to will them to win. We need to will them to freaking get the first down, to get the touchdown, to get whatever we need. Because our heart means a lot in this world. Yeah, I can't believe I'm getting emotional about talking about football, Pat. I'm a huge fan, and I'm getting all flustered. So sorry.
No, Marianne, once again, I cannot echo this sentiment enough. We need more people like you, as opposed to less people. So we're very thankful that you made time to talk to us today, and I hope the world continues to sing your praises because what you did last night was awesome, and I assume that's every single game. And now, they're showing Taylor Swift a lot.
Exactly.
They're showing Jay-Z a lot.
Yeah.
When the Chargers are on, you know who we're going to. Where's Marianne Doe at?
Docam.
Find the frickin' Marianne Doe. Yeah. Find the mom of 4, you said?
4 boys.
God.
So,
God bless.
Yeah.
I assume they love having you as a mom. I assume every day you're awesome. And thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, team. I really appreciate you guys having me on. And this is kind of like this moment that this stay-at-home mom never expected. So cheers to you.
Well, enjoy it all. You've earned it and deserved it. Are we making the playoffs this year or what? I always believe we're going to get there. Chargers never start out 10-0 or whatever, right? It's hard in the beginning, but we're going to get there. And I believe it. Everybody's like, how can you still believe in your Chargers? I'm like, do you lose faith in your spouse when they fail? Do you lose faith in your kid when they fail?
Yep.
I'm not going to lose faith in my Chargers when they make a mistake. It is life, guys. We do what we do the best that we can every day, but at the end of the day, we're going to the playoffs.
Hell yeah, we appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Marianne Doe.
That was awesome.
I love it.
What a mindset.
We need more Marianne.
Yeah. Dog.
You feel terrible about yourself?
No, I'm happy now. She's real, and obviously she's very, very passionate. Maybe I just don't experience that because I cheer for too many teams.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah, she's at. I wish we could have broke down.
But
You're right, Gumpy. We should have told her. Oh, a guy who's fans of 5 teams is the one saying that you've got to be a fake, a fugazi. Jeez,
You
Louise.
son of a bitch.
I want to hang out with
Awesome.
Marianne in
I
the
take
cabana.
back everything I said. She was awesome.
Hey, she said. So she didn't know as it was happening, but her Apple Watch was like, got 100 texts.
Yeah.
Are the kids safe? Are my kids okay? Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. We need to. What are we even doing here? I love that, AJ. I do. I genuinely love
It's awesome. It's awesome there's people like that care that much. And like she said, she's super positive. Like, we need to will them to win. We need to will them. A lot of stuff Aaron's talking about. She's trying to manifest some victories for her team.
Yeah, and when I went Bigfoot hunting, if you remember, somebody in our group didn't believe enough.
That's right.
And that's why.
That's why you didn't see it.
Yeah. You.
That's how it works.
Well, for Marianne, too, at the end of the day, the Chargers aren't going to win anything, unfortunately.
She said before she dies, they need to win Super Bowl.
I hope they do.
pretty young.
Honestly, I genuinely am rooting for the Chargers for the rest of the
Me
year
too.
just because of Marianne, but I can see the not the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see that wall at the end of the tunnel. That is inevitable.
You need to watch that light at the end of the tunnel. It's a train, man.
That's right. Bucket, name her head coach.
Why not?
Fire Staley right now and hire Marianne.
She said, he's our coach right now.
Yeah.
Okay? That's our team right now. She's like, I'm in for whatever we're doing right now. Didn't get into what the future's going to look like.
No.
Because Marianne doesn't look at the future.
Nope, why would
she enjoys the moment more than anybody I've seen in a while. And if you can get lost in there, man, keep it going, Marianne.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do everything DB tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll do everything DB tomorrow. Because we got a huge lineup change for tomorrow.
Oh,
No AQ tomorrow.
nice.
No General Bob Carpenter tomorrow.
Right.
No AQ. I think Michael Lombardi's joining us tomorrow.
Okay.
He is.
Oh, a little.
Lambeau.
Because remember,
about
Lambeau?
because the general is going to be on Friday.
Yes.
AQ is going to be Friday.
Ooh.
Because, his Penn State Nittany Lions are taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes, and we'll be live from Columbus
He's
on
gonna
Ohio
fight
State.
you, AJ.
Hey, I don't know how he's going to get treated up there because, he'll be ha, ha, ha.
Oh, yeah.
But if they get a little I'm
Oh,
excited
yeah.
to see him kind of handle that.
He's so skinny now, they're not going to believe that it was actually AQ, like that he played for the Penn State football team.
Well, also that, but they're also not going to have any fear of him with the size.
No, that's
that
what I
he
mean.
has.
Yeah,
that's
that
what's
too.
scary.
That's true.
He
actually.
still has
bum
that
neck.
Yeah, bum neck, spine's bad, but his cranium is still the size, which Ohio people recognize. Ohio people do look at the size of the head and they go, okay, maybe not Oklahoma drill, but blindside possible.
Yeah, you're right.
If we have to.
Yep.
But he's been in the Bader camp.
Ain't
I
that-
hope those people know.
Ain't that right,
He's still
AJ?
bigger than
blindside him.
95% of humanity.
That's what I mean.
How are you? Where's your weight at right now? You feel?
Same, $180.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the golf game?
Golf game solid.
No, it's not.
Solid. I thought I wouldn't be able to play as much during the fall, but just sneaking in some fall rounds.
I've been
Play
hearing
a
you up
couple
here, right?
Yep, up here. It's different. Ball travel's a lot different, much more, up and down elevation. A lot of shit flat down in South Florida, but
What?
great experience.
That's the opposite of
What are you talking
of what's here.
You've been
Totally
playing golf
flat.
here? Where you been playing golf with Hills?
So it's like in Florida, it's like most of the course up, it's like flat, like everything, the greens, the fairway, everything. Here is much anywhere outside of South Florida is more hilly than here for sure. Than there for sure. I'm sorry.
You should play in Pittsburgh.
Have you put one in a short course over there? Back in
I haven't put one in though.
AJ, did you put one in back here?
Nope. I put multiple balls in the green, but that's a tough one to make.
Hey, the green's tough too. Holding the green is tough.
Oh, yeah.
Foxy's the only one who's put one in.
Hell yeah. I probably have the most shots, but AJ was out there Friday.
Not probably.
Well, yeah, I know. But AJ is so good at golf. He just walks out there and starts hitting wedges, and every single one is hitting the green. It makes no sense.
Yeah, AJ's phenomenal at golf. He really, and the golf gods bless him too. It's like a nice little tag team of
I've
skill.
never broken 80. I've never shot under 80.
He gets a good AQ.
Really?
Don't believe you.
I don't
I'm
believe
dead
you
serious. I'm dead serious. I don't think I've shot 81 even.
Okay.
That means you haven't kept score.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
I keep score pretty much.
Okay.
See, pretty much there. You
I
don't.
keep a real score. I don't take gimmies and all that. That's why I don't shoot under 80 because I don't like gimmies.
D-Butt, too. Remember how pissed he was?
Yeah.
Whenever he was Darius was just getting into golf, and he was golfing with, like, groups at these country clubs. And he was like, why do these fuckers keep telling me to pick it up whenever it's
You'll never get better at golf. It's true. You'll never get good enough because they never put anything from 10 feet in.
Yeah. I got to see him hit the bottom. And
Yeah,
they
but you
wouldn't even
felt like
ask either. They was
disrespected.
They just fucking just put my oh, yeah, here, take this.
Yeah,
you
boom.
got it's good by me.
Right birdie
Yeah,
down
I
on the
was gonna say,
scorecard.
10
Keep
foot.
it moving.
10 foot's ridiculous.
It's good
but,
by me.
2, 3.
No,
Yeah,
you got to
Darius
make
was
it.
like- Darius
if there's
was-
money on the line, you need to make it, I think.
These guys are telling me I can't make it. He's it's like
Par
complete
better,
opposite.
you got to sink it. Par better, you got to sink. If it's
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. for
bogey
sure.
or
Yeah,
fucking
well, how do we feel about Ricky Fowler fucking giving Team
Oh,
Europe
my
a gimme to
God.
win the whole damn Ryder Cup?
Hated
That
it.
was a joke.
Hated it
He
so
knew
much.
Fleetwood
That's
was
why
a
they
dog.
should never have gimmies in any event, especially the Ryder Cup. I think that just take it out. There's always questions. Oh, should he have given it? Who cares? Let's make it a rule that you have to put everything out.
Yeah, no, take the human element out of it. Just like Tyrod Taylor right before half.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We don't need a play that can have a check to a run in that particular situation. How about Aaron saying, I would like to see him in shotgun a little bit, let him throw 3
Use
shots.
athleticism a little bit, yeah.
Which is crazy because that gets talked about as being the wrong thing to do on the goal line, especially.
Well, with the tush push not succeeding for anybody but the Philadelphia Eagles, I think the 4th and 1s are going to be maybe a little bit different handled these days.
Yeah.
Seems like the tush push is getting stopped now.
Ooh.
Because guys are flying
What
over
is the
top.
key? Is that what it is? You got to stop their when they like the centers and guards go down to wedge underneath you. You got to stop that charge a little bit and then go over top, right?
So I'm seeing D tackles line up like a little cockeyed, and then another one.
Yeah.
So I think they're diving, submarining, and then we got sunset flips coming over the top where guys are diving and grabbing waists and like pulling back. It might have been figured out, which is an absurd thing. All right, if it gets too close and they're bringing in tush push, boys, we're submarining the fucking shit out of the center's legs, and then we're going up over the top to grab this thing, and then we're going to get on our way. We're going to do this. It's seemingly only working for the Eagles at this point, which brings up the point again, like they were trying to ban it because one team was good at something. Like everybody needs to relax. relax.
Yeah, and like even when you watch the Eagles this year, they're not just doing what the other teams are doing. Like Jalen Hurts is picking his spots on the line sometimes on where he's going. He's not just taking the ball, putting his head down and getting pushed forward. Like there is some strategy, and I think it was the first game, right? Isn't that when Kelsey and Jurgens and Dickinson, they didn't submarine down. They waited, and then the D-line submarined, and Jalen went over the top. Like, they've changed up the strategy. It hasn't just been the same exact thing every single time.
Yeah, they've delayed it, and they're going to do some other stuff off of it, we can all assume. But the Philadelphia Eagles got a lot to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Kelsey was taken in a baseball game last night.
He was.
With his brother Travis. That was fun to see.
Yeah, it was.
I did appreciate the fact that Travis had an incredible setup for his bye week.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hang out with Taylor at her apartment. We're going to do Saturday Night Live. We're going to have a night. Then I'm going to go see my brother play against the Jets. And then the next night, we're going to go watch playoff baseball in an electric atmosphere, have some beers with my brother. Congrats to both these guys, killing life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely kill. I'm sure Jason Kelsey doesn't feel like he's killing life because his knee probably hurts, his back probably hurts, his head.
Yeah, right.
Everything. And same with Travis with the rolled ankle. But you boys are crushing it. You need to take it in.
Keep going.
Take it in and enjoy it all. We appreciate the Kelsey's existence. We truly
It's
do.
like he felt bad that he was there last night, actually.
Oh, Jason?
Yeah, kind of looked like that.
Just like sitting.
Either he's really super chill, which I respect about him, or he kind of felt bad going there after a loss.
He's like the king of Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta support the boys.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean...
Still weird.
I mean,
it
he's
is weird,
still
I
him.
think.
To Jason. Yeah.
After a loss, it does feel weird. It's like you feel bad smiling or laughing.
Well, Kirk went to a baseball game midweek after they had lost 5 in a row, so...
And he sat in the stands, and people loved it because of how humble he is. But, like, to your point, it's very uncomfortable, especially if you're a guy like Jason Kelsey, who I assume takes every single snap as if it's his last and everything like that, and as the leader of the team, to be seen happy ever after a loss, especially in a city like Philadelphia where the entire town's happiness is kind of dependent upon how the Eagles are doing. So I can see how you could think that Jason didn't enjoy being there, but I think the Phillies were like, thank you for being here, Jason. You know, we appreciate everything you're about.
And maybe it would have been really bad if the Phillies would have lost, but with the Phillies starting like that and winning, I bet people were just, so fucking amped and juiced. It's like, oh, all right, fucking Kels is here celebrating with us. This is awesome.
Kels stopped by Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah, it was sweet. He had a little cameo on the end of, I think it was...
Fox.
Yeah, the Fox segment where they're like, let's talk actual football. And then they threw to Kelsey, and Kelsey was like, yeah, finally.
And Taylor was with him there.
Yeah, she introduced Ice Spice for her second song.
Man, they're in love.
Yeah.
For sure.
You see that holding hands coming out of the...
Hey, they might be a perfect couple.
They took note.
Absolutely.
Like people... Like, he legitimately might be the perfect man for her. And on the flip side, he might have been searching for somebody like Taylor for this entire time. I'm fucking happy for them.
Yeah. So cool.
Me too.
He's being a gentleman, too.
He is being a gentleman.
That's what all the Swifties are saying.
Yeah, of course he is. He's a Yes.
Yeah.
We said this at the very beginning.
Yep.
You got a gentleman now. You got a knight. You don't have one of these little soft ass musicians or artists or anything like that. You got a dog.
I believe that actually happened too. I think like her security guard was and he was like, "Hey, take a back seat.
Yeah.
If anything happens, I'll be able to protect her just fine."
Chivalry's not dead, especially from football guys.
Hell yeah.
So although you see him fighting with his hands at practice and doing all that stuff, that's what he'll do for her, the woman that he clearly loves.
Boom.
Congrats to both of them. I'm happy for him.
Love.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet.
And then her movie, I think she made like $53 million or something like that first day of the movie.
Yeah. Opening weekend was like over.
And the movie is just a
100 million.
documentary of her tour, right?
Yeah.
No, not even. It's just it's a 2-hour and 48-minute concert. It's not even a documentary on the tour.
It's not like travel between shows and all the behind-the-scenes stuff?
I do not believe so. It might be songs from different portions of different shows in different cities, but I don't believe.
But it's like relive the concert.
Yeah,
movie.
it is legitimately just a
Good for
concert
her.
movie.
She's a fucking genius. She is a genius. I will never stop believing that, which is why I'm so pumped for Travis Kelsey, friend of the program, hopefully still, even though he got thrown into a debate with RFK Jr., Fauci, and Aaron Rodgers about a week and a half ago.
When is that scheduled?
Huh?
When is that scheduled?
I don't know.
January 6th.
All right.
Any traction on that?
All right.
AJ's birthday party.
On the White House lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think they're doing it at the Capitol, right there on the steps.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's...
That's the meeting
Yeah,
point.
they're selling
again.
tickets at dustop.com. Get them now.
Oh.
I do appreciate that. The only thing we know about politics is just the most trigger-happy things that they have.
Del Rio's going to
How many times he said? Who did he say today? He said Fauci today.
Fauci.
Something about
veterinarian.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I got to Google that one still.
Yeah, just look up Pfizer veterinarian head. The whole
You'll
thing.
see.
Yeah,
I get it now.
The only reason why I know that is because it was texted to me from somebody after the debate was sent up.
Sure.
Like, oh, you think that's bad? Look up blah blah. I'm like, I don't think anything. I want to let you know, I think it's ridiculous that my show is now being quoted with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., fucking Fauci, and Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson, and yes, that's what I think. Well, look up who's the head. Look up who's the head, and we'll see what's really ridiculous. I'm like, I'm not going to do it.
No, thanks.
I will believe what you just said, and I appreciate it. To be clear, the people that pay attention to that world over there, I don't know how they have any happiness.
Yeah, your life sucks.
People need to be more like Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Amen.
Let's just worry about ball.
Exactly.
Except the politics people. They have that much energy. I don't like where we're going.
The politics
Positive
people,
energy,
like Marianne, where she's been able to survive through the roller coaster that has been the Chargers football with every single play, and it's like their games literally come down to the final and they lose every single time. So her heart has just been pounded by the Chargers. So we appreciate her stamina to stick with it. It's like politics. They get so mad and nothing ever happens.
No.
And then they still have the capability of getting mad again the next day about something different. And then nothing happens. And then guess what? That next day, something new, just pissed about it.
Right back at it.
Nothing happens. Put that thing on cycle. We're going back to day one is what we're pissed off about. What has happened? Nothing. Of course it hasn't. And they're mad again. So I guess we should be impressed by their stamina of being pissed in the politics world.
Yeah. And being able to be, 800 years old and still hold a position.
And not accomplish anything or make the world a better place.
Yeah, you can actually just go up to the podium and then stop talking in the middle of a sentence and you'll still have your job at the end of it. It's cool.
Again, he pooped his pants. He couldn't. I mean,
That's fine.
not his fault.
So my daughter, she's starting to poop logs.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Wow.
She's starting to have real poops. And whenever she's doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll hold her up on my knees, and all of a sudden her face will just, and then you start hearing sounds, and it's like, oh, you're taking a dump right now.
Oh, yeah.
It did look like that fucking politician guy.
Bingo.
It did look like he was dumping. I actually thought of him one time as my daughter was pooping right in front of me. I was like, this does look like the guy.
Oh, my God, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch
Seen
McConnell.
this face before?
Yeah, he was maybe dumping right there. I don't think I've ever seen a baby dump, but I have now.
Yeah.
That's what that fucking guy looked like.
Absolutely. And he was just embarrassed. Like, oh, fuck, I just shit my pants. Just don't say anything.
I got my best pair of Depends on today.
It smells so bad.
Oh, so
Everywhere,
bad.
all around him.
And then he got done with his dump, just like my baby, and he was just back to being normal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They walked him off. He came back, and remember, he was sharp as a tack.
Yep.
He was sharp as a tack where he came back. That's what they said.
Yeah. Jumped on a couch, said, all right, change me. And one of his aides
Lift his legs
changed
up.
his diaper.
I don't know if it was on a couch. He went over to where the closest hose.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure.
Hose
And they
bidet.
said,
That's what
spray
I do
this
to my
thing
kids,
down.
too. Yeah.
Bidet me.
The old school bidet, just with a garden hose. All right, turn around, Mitch. You know the deal.
Yep. Really going to have to get in there.
Took
on
his
this
pants
one.
off, still had his suit jacket on and everything. Just
So he's on the right side, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you got,
which side's right? Elephant or donkey? Pro-vax or anti-vax?
I don't know, because I think that all kind of blended.
Okay.
But I think the super pro vouch or
Like guns or not? Is he like guns or not?
They're red, not blue.
Okay, that makes sense.
That would be right?
Mm-hmm.
Red is right.
Yeah.
Left is blue. Blue is the super pro vaxxers. I think are all on that side.
Aaron
Rodgers.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Tony Fauci.
Fauci. Yep.
Hand in hand.
John Stockton.
Djokovic.
Yep.
Del Rio.
All those people.
Yeah.
Super duper. They're very far left.
All in.
This one's for the vax.
Okay.
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 All right.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep. Go on.
Launch that
Jackass.
thing out of
For the vax.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, man. Bummer.
We knew that.
Shocked.
For Novax. Bonus ball.
All right. If this ball goes in, we'll give 20 people $500 who retweet this tweet.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
Okay?
Hell yeah.
You retweet this tweet and say something nice to somebody too, because we need a little bit more of that in this world.
Marianne.
And in the same reply that you say something nice to somebody like Marianne Doe, go ahead and put the easiest way for us to pay you. 20 people, $500.
Nice.
Wasn't meant to be. Sorry about it. Sorry about it. Yeah, no winners. Yeah, that's the way it goes. We'll be back. 25 people.
Okay.
Whoa, 25.
$500 if this ball goes into that hoop right over there. All you got to do is retweet this X post, say something nice to somebody, and put the most efficient and easy way to pay you in that same reply so we can get you your cash.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? On this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, it would only be right for 25 people to win $500. Ain't that right, AJ Hawk?
That is correct. I agree with you.
You know, this Friday, we're going to be live from Ohio State's campus with the president of Ohio and hopefully the other president of Ohio, Kirk Herbstreit, as well. General Bob Carpenter, other Ohio State legends will be there. I mean, it should be incredible.
Huge.
So if this ball goes in, 25 people win $500, and Friday's show is going to be the best one we've ever had.
Let's go. Nice. Come on.
Let's have an incredible Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Goodbye.